Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs appear to be okay, according to Josh Allen, but are there still concerns? Are we still ranking guys like St. Brown and Garrett Wilson above Stephon Diggs? We're going to talk about that. We're going to hear them try and make this look good, but we also, in terms of the media, but we're also going to, I think, have the media, and, I'm included in this, blow things out of proportion, but at the same time, it comes down to continuity. It comes down to cohesiveness, and Diggs is disruptive. It doesn't mean that he's going to have a horrible year. Doesn't mean he's walking off the field, but, we got to really have a serious conversation about St. Brown over Diggs, Garrett Wilson over Diggs, and just kind of continue that conversation. But Josh Allen fired back today, saying there's no reason to continue to talk about this, but that's something he's going to say every time. That's not something he's not gonna come out and go, yeah, it is a problem. Like, we don't really know what's going on. We know it's bad enough that there wasn't a conversation between, I believe, these two for quite some time. At least the rumor has it. That could be wrong too. We're talking about this. We're talking about KJ Osborne. We're talking about Dalvin Cook to the New York Jets. That's a rumor that people are saying that this is a potential landing spot, that the Jets are kicking the tires. I don't think this is the case. I don't think this is the case. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Breece Hall believer. I'm not just saying that because I've got a lot of Breece Hall shares. I'm being true and honest about this. This would cost some money that I don't think the Jets need to potentially, they don't need to spend in the running back room. They've got a nice rookie they signed. They've got some veteran leadership in the backfield, and Breece Hall's way ahead of schedule. So there's nothing but speculation. Smoke season continued from the NFL draft time period. But we're going to break down all of that and more. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So again, to kick off the show, we want to talk about Josh Allen and his comments today. This is a report from NFL.com where Allen says that the Diggs situation in minicamp has been overblown. There's no reason, quote, to continue talking about it, end quote. It said something along the lines of that he missed one day. He missed one day and everybody's freaking out. But there's more to this. And like I mentioned, the entire media world, including myself, are going to potentially throw, kerosene on this fire that Josh Allen's currently sitting in right on my screen. But no pun intended. But Josh Allen is going to say this. So I'm here to kind of throw a little caution on the topic because maybe I've come strong on it, but I still believe in what I've said. Everything I've said, I still stand by, that I would draft St. Brown over Stephon Diggs this year. You can laugh at me if you want. You can laugh at a 9 to 12 overall value. That's where they linger. Like St. Brown's in the 8 to 12 range, and Stephon Diggs is in the 8 to 12 range. I don't understand how anybody can even have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with Bob. Drafting Diggs over St. Brown. Why does Bob have a problem with me drafting St. Brown over Diggs? He can say whatever he wants. I still feel that there is a potential better outcome for St. Brown than Diggs, just because of the added risk of having this thing not meshing well. He's not happy, and that to me pushes him down one or two slots. I'm not saying don't draft Diggs. People get me wrong. People hear me say something, and they listen to me say something, and they hear something entirely different. Smitty's not drafting Diggs. Smitty, I thought you didn't like Diggs. I'll take Diggs at 12 overall in a mock draft or something, and someone goes, Smitty, I thought you didn't like Diggs. You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. You're listening to me. You're watching my lips move, but you are not hearing me. I like Diggs at a certain territory where the risk feels more and more and more baked in. Every draft slot he falls, the more risk is baked in. Give me St. Brown. Give me St. Brown. Give me Garrett Wilson over Diggs. And I don't care. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. He's not happy. There are some reasons I can envision this thing to potentially not go to, the liking of the fantasy owner that takes him number 8 overall. I'd rather have St. Brown. St. Brown's going to be a top 2 to 5 wide receiver in touchdown accumulation in 2023. That includes rushing. That includes receiving. He's a 2 to 3 rushing touchdown monster potentially. He's also going to get you about 10 plus scores receiving. He's going to have between 12 and 14, 12 and 15 scores. I'm talking about St. Brown in 2023. Could Diggs have that? Absolutely. Absolutely. Could Diggs have as good a season as St. Brown? Could Diggs outscore St. Brown? Of course he could. Of course he could. Could Diggs outscore every wide receiver? It's certainly in the realm of possibility with this offense, high octane, with this quarterback. It does not mean I'm drafting this man Diggs over St. Brown. I'm just not doing it. And you can get mad about it all you want. Doesn't bother me at all. I don't get mad that you draft Diggs. I don't know why people get mad that I draft St. Brown. I love him, said Josh Allen. That's my guy, Allen said of Diggs during a recent appearance on Bussin' with the Boys podcast. The media has blown this so far out of proportion. He's pointing at me. He's pointing a finger at me. Allen continued. We're not playing a game for 4 months. He doesn't show up for 1 day, is what Josh Allen said. Sugarcoat it all you want, Joshy boy. And I love you, pal. Everyone knows I love Josh Allen. This is a man that your boy Smitty saw coming when everybody doubted him worse than they doubted Jalen Hurts. I tell you, the doubt was so bad on this kid, Josh Allen, your boy, NBC Sports Radio. He will be a top 1 to 5 quarterback before he even touches a football at the NFL level, I said. I said it'd take 2 years. It took him 3. But he's there. He's there. Nothing's going to change that. This doesn't bother me or detour me away from drafting Josh Allen. I'm a little concerned at 8 and 9 because of his attitude and because he's not happy. I don't know how he's going to play. Is he going to be disgruntled all year? Is there more going on than we even know? Josh Allen said it wasn't football related. And this is me not calling Josh Allen a liar. I love Josh Allen. At the risk of him pointing this out again, that we're just blowing this out of proportion, he said it wasn't football related. He said it wasn't football related. It was football related. It had to do with a lot of things that got tied together, but it was football related. He said it wasn't. So, when he says we're blowing it out of proportion, I don't know. He's going to say a lot of this stuff. And you can't just go, oh, everything's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine, but it's not bad. It's okay. The title of my video, Allen and Diggs are okay. They're okay. Doesn't mean it's 100%. Give me St. Brown, baby. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else. I'm not saying anything more negative than that. Dalton Kincaid season is upon us. And let's just hope Hopkins doesn't land in Buffalo. I was really worried that this situation, the animosity being brewed in Buffalo, just stirred in a big pot of animosity, was going to create some sort of, all right, let's go get Hopkins just in case this thing unravels and we got a wide receiver room that we love. And I'm very, very hopeful that it doesn't go that route because Kincaid is going to be spoon-fed. Especially if something happens, he'll be spoon-fed. But I don't even want something to happen because Diggs stretching the field, being open all over the field, knifing across the field, Kincaid just sleepwalking into a 7 to 10 touchdown season as a rookie. Really, he could. He could sleepwalk into the number 2 wide receiver role if Diggs is stretching the field and keeping defenses honest. I don't even want Diggs to play lesser or be out for 4 or 5 games. That has nothing to do with Kincaid. Now, Hopkins, on the other hand, coming over would certainly hog up a lot of targets, but I absolutely love Kincaid 2023. And guess what, guys? He has the best chance of becoming the next Travis Kelce. I'm not saying he is Kelce. I'm not saying that's happening right away. I'm not saying it's a lock to happen. I'm saying he is the best chance out of all the tight ends in the National Football League that are currently in the league or entering the league this draft class. He's the next potential guy. And we've seen what Mahomes is doing with an elite tight end. Josh Allen's going to be fine no matter what happens in the next offseason with Diggs. But Diggs can't go anywhere. His contract right now entering 2023, dead cap's above $45 million. Kincaid season. Yeah. And Swaggy's in here running his mouth yet again. Swaggy says, Smitty, you tend to over-exaggerate most of the time. And call in, Swaggy. Call in, Swaggy. Call in. Let's have a conversation about it. You're going to come in here running your mouth, Swaggy. Call in. The phone line's open, pal. It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you. This one's from Brandon. Brandon says, hey, Smitty, in a 14-team redraft league, where do you draft? Where we do draft pick trades? From trades I've made so far, I currently have 2 second-rounders, 4 third-rounders, and 2 fifth-round picks. Thoughts? I mean, I like that. I like trading the one down and getting the extra picks. I do certainly think you're in a good position. You have 2 second-rounders, 4 third-rounders, and 2 fifth-rounders. You're going to crush it, bro. There's so much value there. There are players sitting in the second round that deserve to be in round 1 and have round 1 value. Absolute smash, bro. Way to start that one out. I don't know where the picks are exactly. Thank you for the $10 hauler. To the moon. Shot to every $10 hauler and above on the show. Appreciate you, my man. Drop those super chats. I still don't see Swaggy calling in. He's so quick to run his mouth in the chat, but he certainly doesn't call in and talk about it. Phone line is on the screen there, Swagmeister. If you so care to wanna say anything. To clarify, would you draft Kincaid as your tight end 1 or tight end 2, Smitty? Of course I would, Golf, but I would definitely cuff him to an equal or perceived to be better talent for week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like Cole Kmet and Kincaid, perfect. Okonkwo is going in the double-digit rounds. Okonkwo and Kincaid, perfect. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And Swaggy, you take what I say and you twist it all around too. I didn't say these guys would be okay on the field. Swaggy says something completely misleading like this. Swaggy, one of my mods put Swaggy in timeout for 300 seconds. Just for spreading misinformation in here. Swaggy says, imagine thinking Allen and Diggs were going to be okay. I don't know if you're referencing fantasy football. What have I said they're going to be okay from a fantasy football perspective? Okay, they're not okay between the two of them right now. They're not great between the two. They're okay. They're okay. Everything's okay. They're not fine. They're not great. Not everything's not perfect in their world. There's some miscommunication. They hadn't talked, according to many reports, for months, Swaggy. So if you're trying to insinuate that I'm saying this about their fantasy value, go in timeout, son. Go in timeout and think about your actions. When's the last time a rookie tight end was worth starting? It's been a while, runner boy, since Kyle Pitts. I mean, not that long. But usually, runner boy, you don't have situation meeting talent like this. Even in Kyle Pitts' situation, he didn't have a quarterback that was near as good as Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a top 4 lock, bro. Top 4 scoring machine. The offense is an absolute, just magnificent arsenal of just glorified scoring fest going on constantly. And so you have Kincaid talent walking into a situation where he's going to grab 10 plus touchdowns. You know, if all goes well, if he's utilized right away, they're going to throw him into the slot. There's tons of stuff already out there saying this guy's going to line up in the slot. He's going to play wide receiver. I don't know that he's playing. I don't know that he's blocking. I don't think he's playing blocking games much at all this year. Dawson Knox could still, pull in 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but Knox will be blocking, and Kincaid's going to say, "Go get me a Coke. Go get me a coffee. Go get me a coffee now," is what Kincaid's going to say to Dawson Knox. Go get me a water. Hand me a towel. Kincaid's running the show, okay? Dawson Knox is blocking. And you can say rookies don't translate. I'm the one that said that over and over and over as far as stay away from rookies their first year. But in the case of Laporta, who's going into a very, very target-hungry environment. In the case of Dalton Kincaid, going to a very target-hungry environment with a top 4 quarterback, it's a match made in heaven. It's a match made in heaven. Absolutely. Swaggy, go get me a coffee. Brees has way more upside than Cook. Let's get to that. So we got the Dalvin Cook situation. In a nutshell, for the non-listening Nelsons out there like Swaggy, this isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it is certainly relevant in terms of the pecking order of the wide receivers at the 8 to 12 overall range. That's been my stance from the beginning, even though someone like Swaggy might say that I said something different, and that I'm blowing it out of proportion. I'm not. There's animosity there, Swaggy. They haven't talked in months, according to many reports, and therefore it is reasonable to say, hey, you know what? This is going to be a situation where St. Brown comes in and outperforms them, and it's not a big deal. Or potentially, Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, maybe one or two other receivers perform right alongside of them, and you just avoid some of the risk that comes along with Diggs. Okay, let's go on to the next topic, because we know this is going to be okay. As we said, the relationship will be repaired, but there is certainly some work to do. Brees has way more upside than Cook, but really could kill Brees' value. Cook is still explosive enough to steal a ton. Yeah, so this is the report here. This report's from NFL. I believe this is from... Oh, no, this is from NBC Sports, I think. So, NBC Sports. Yeah, we'll get into ranking the wide receivers in a minute. Runner Boy, let me put this up on the screen here, and then we'll go ahead and do that. Okay. Jeremy Fowler reports that the Jets have done their homework on free agent Dalvin Cook. What's this mean? We don't know. Fowler is saying there are several teams in the AFC East that are vying for Cook's potential services. The Jets have been projecting sunshine on Brees Hall's ACL recovery, but signing Cook for that type of money is likely going to tell a different story. So essentially saying what we all believe to be true. If they brought in Cook, maybe there's some more concern about Brees Hall's knee, or they just want to take it slow. He's their franchise long-term running back, and therefore they just want to make sure they're covered. They got this Aaron Rodgers guy going into his potentially final season. Maybe he goes 2 years, and you want to make sure the running back situation is buttoned up. Because what does Aaron Rodgers love to do? Throw to his RB, which is one reason Brees Hall is going to have such a big year. So what we need to do here is look at the situation from an objective lens and say to ourselves, is it possible that Dalvin Cook could end up in New York? Of course it's possible, but the money's big. I don't think the Jets are going to spend that kind of money on an RB that they don't plan to start full time. I think there are other things they want to potentially have that money freed up for. Not that there's a lot of building to do going forward, but I don't think they're interested in bringing in Cook and mudding up the situation and maybe hurting the relationship between Brees Hall and Aaron Rodgers. This is all speculation on my part, but I just can't imagine this being a very good fit given Brees Hall's the leader. It just steps on Brees Hall's toes, and if you're a coach, you're sometimes worried about that and sometimes not. In the case of Brees Hall, I think you're worried about it. If it was another running back, like say, like in the Miami backfield, no one's going to be going, hey, don't step on Jeff Wilson's toes. Don't step on Mostert's toes. These are journeymen. These are guys that can't stay healthy. Brees Hall got injured, but he is the future, and he was on his way to becoming the number one running back in the National Football League. So I don't think this is going to be a situation where the Jets are the top, bidding team. Maybe they make them a low ball offer and they say, hey, look, Brees, I know Brees is going to get mad over this, but we're getting him for a steal and we got to cover ourselves. Like I could understand. That's why I say it's possible. But are they going to go vying for him? Are they going to compete and become the highest bidding team? I highly doubt it. So I'm going to say cap on this one. I don't think this will end up being true. I think that we're most definitely
That is facts.
Looking at him going to either like a Miami type situation, or maybe another situation develops that we weren't quite expecting. We'll have to kind of play it by ear. But yeah, so Dalvin Cook, I don't think he goes to New York. But there's that piece of news. This last piece of news, then we'll open up the phone lines and we'll have this conversation right here. We'll say Osborne has been a real standout during offseason practices. And we'll have to say that, that definitely is a concern to hear if you're an Addison owner. But at the same time, that doesn't mean anything. Like, he could just stay in the wide receiver 3 role. Your wide receiver 3 can be a standout. Hey, you look great. He's our wide receiver 3. Let's go. It doesn't mean he's taking over Addison's job. However, the reason I brought this up, because it's not a huge deal that Osborne's looking good. He's their number 3 wide receiver. You can look good. Addison's been banged up. Addison hasn't been there. Addison hasn't been taking it all in, learning the offense, absorbing everything. So there could be a potential slower start for Addison than people are expecting, is what I want to essentially, emphasize here. That KJ Osborne is going to fight hard. He's probably going to lose by week 4 or 5 and lose all the main wide receiver 2 volume to Jordan Addison. But Jordan Addison is starting from behind. So I don't know that it's going to be something where in week 1 you're going to expect 100 yards, and even if it's no touchdowns, 6 catches, 100 yards. Yeah, we're on our way, Addison season, baby. I don't know that it's going to necessarily be that amazing and his role be that glorified in week 1, but we'll have to see. Breece Hall ADP is too high, says Swaggy. Well, that's we need you. We need you continuing to shovel this out there too, Swaggy, because that. Tell as many friends as you can. Tell as many people as you can. He's falling sometimes into the 3rd round, Swaggy. So you do what you got to do. We'll do what we got to do. No problem at all. I don't see much from the Blue Star. Give me Rambo all day long. Breece Hall is a league winner week 6 through 17. I agree with that. I also think, Don't count him out for weeks 1 through 6, though. But definitely expect a little progression in his carries and workload. Appreciate this comment right here. This one from Runner Boy is interesting. Rank them: Diggs, CD, St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown. I'd go Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, A.J. Brown, and CD and Diggs are both tied for me. I think CD and Diggs both have a little bit of concern. I mean, A.J. Brown too, which is why he's ranking 3rd. Garrett Wilson and St. Brown, I have no concern for. A.J. Brown, I worry about his knees every year, but not enough to bump him from 3. I like St. Brown better. I like Garrett Wilson better. Diggs, little concern, enough to drop 2 or 3 spots, but that's it. I mean, I love Diggs at that value. I'm fine with Diggs there. I'll take Diggs at 12 all day long. I've got him at 12. I've seen him go at 8. So Diggs is a very different player to me at 8 than he is 12. And that's just the way I look at it. And if anybody thinks I'm viewing it differently, just hit rewind. Just go back 30 seconds and rewatch that right there. And then you'll know my stance on Diggs. Hey, Smitty, what's your stance on Diggs? Go look back 23 minutes and 0 seconds into the live stream. Ranking Garrett Wilson and St. Brown 1 and 2 on this list shouldn't shock anybody. And I don't blame anybody for having Diggs 1. Because that's the world we live in, where you get to decide whatever you want. The only people that get ripped to shreds are the people that act like they know it all and that you can't have a different order or ranking. Those people don't know what they're talking about. Joseph, what's up, my guy? Joseph with a $5 hauler says, I'm in a 10-team PPR dynasty. Need trade advice. My Christian Watson and Judy for Kelsey and Elijah Moore, or my Diggs for Kelsey straight up. Woo. I probably say keep Christian Watson and Judy, and I try and trade Judy on the high in a different deal, my guy. But I do kind of like the Diggs for Kelsey trade if you think you could win cash money right now. If you can't clean up at least for 2 years, don't do the trade because Diggs might have one more year. It's probably only one more year than Kelsey. It really probably is. I don't think in Dynasty, Diggs doesn't have near the value. Like, we're talking Dynasty, Diggs doesn't sniff St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, because he's older. He's got a couple years left max. Like, after 2 years, it's it's play it by ear mode for Diggs. Diggs is completely different in Dynasty. But he still has maybe another year over Kelsey, I would imagine. I don't know. That one's a tough one. That one's preference, bro. That one is pure preference. Because any way you spin it, it's got pros and cons that are almost equal. In a Dynasty startup, you got to ask yourself, how many years are you going to dominate early on, and can you recover from a Kelsey dropping off and not getting anything in return? He could literally play 2 more elite years and linger for a decent level for another 1 or 2. You know, and Diggs will probably play that exact amount, you know, or play 2 years elite and then potentially, you know, drop off. So that's going to be a preference situation. The chat can vote as to which side they would like, but they also need to know, can you dominate now if you go get Kelsey? Because if you can't, why would you give up the years? I traded Kelsey in a Dynasty league. I got 3 first-rounders from Spacula on the live stream in a follower league. We got Bryson with the super chat here. Bryson, my guy. Excited for the season. Got Garrett Wilson, Olave, London, T-Law, Stevenson, Chubb, Najee, Walker, Charbonnet, and J.K. Dobbins. Want to trade Najee, though? Any suggestions? Yeah. Just comb through the 3rd round and look at wide receivers you love, my guy. Just comb through that 3rd round and just say to yourself, okay, I really like London. I really like Christian Watson. I really like, paying more and getting St. Brown. I like paying. You have St. Brown. You have London, Olave. You need an RB. Okay, so you're good at wide receiver. Giving up a Najee Harris to upgrade Chubb into Bijan. You know, like, I'm not saying that's going to be entirely possible, but J.K. Dobbins, Najee and J.K. for Gibson, or Gibbs for let's see, Gibbs and what else could you get? I don't know. Like, it just depends, bro. Like, let's say the Burrow owner has Gibbs. You get Burrow and Gibbs. You give up T-Law and Najee. I don't know. I throw in J.K. Dobbins, and if he gives you something back, you can do all kinds of crazy moves. But I'm using J.K. and Najee together. I'm using who's your other wide receiver? I don't know who else you have, but I would throw J.K. with somebody to go get a slightly better player than J.K. Dobbins. I like going after. Who's your tight end? I don't think you said Kincaid. Use Najee to get Kincaid and a player. What if you could get a Swift or a Pacheco and Kincaid? You know, what if you could trade J.K. Dobbins for Kincaid straight up? That's something I would look at potentially in a dynasty. If that's dynasty, I don't know if that was dynasty. JJ and Diggs are fire, says Runner Boy. JJ is going to have a big year. I believe Chase will have a slightly better year, but they're both top 2. I don't think Diggs is in the tier of JJ and Chase, but he's certainly in that next tier. He just falls closer to the bottom of that tier based on the potential risk of the situation at hand. That's it. J.R. Deckard says, I skipped his super chat. Let me go get that, pal. Appreciate you very, very much. Deckard dropping a $5 holler. Moonshot for me being late. How about I take a lap, Deckard? Okay, took my lap. Who for my 3rd pick have Bijan and Mahomes, underdog, best ball draft. Available are Hurts, Stevenson, Hall, Ridley, Najee, Watson, pick 28. I mean, I don't know that I'd go Hurts because you have Mahomes, but it's always a fun approach. But I kind of like going like Fields and T-Law with Mahomes if you're gonna Fields or T-Law with Mahomes if you're gonna try and do that, because you can do it at 5 or 6 and then not really waste this pick right here to 1 QB on that double quarterback strategy that is a very fun strategy. So I say let it ride and keep drafting smart here instead of getting crazy and crafty. You got Bijan, you got Mahomes. Preferably, I'd like to see you get a wide receiver if all things are equal and balanced. Watson's nice here, bro. Watson or Ridley is very, very nice here. London's pretty good here. and then Gibbs next round would be smart. So I'd say like Ridley or Watson, whoever you're feeling, because they're very close to me. Trust your gut on that one. But I definitely say wide receiver, because all things do appear pretty equal. I would lean wide receiver. Cup can be top in both. Cup has some risk, but he obviously has some upside as well. But Cup to me is not somebody that I'm targeting at his ADP, which is a lot of times 4 or 5, if you know what I'm saying. Bro, when do the redraft rankings drop? I don't know what you mean, Uncle Philly. My redraft rankings, my dynasty rankings, my rookie rankings, all of my rankings are year-round on thefantasyfootballshow.com. They're never loading. Hey, when do the rankings drop, Smitty? When's the draft kit? We don't have draft kits here at thefantasyfootballshow.com. It's all year-round. It's a year-round functional website. There's no draft kit. You're not getting a PDF. I'm not going to mail you a little pamphlet. So it's always updated, my guy. Always, Uncle Philly. Always, pal. Or 365 like the bada bing. 365. Smitty, where do you finish in the ECR last year? I don't do the weekly rankings, but on the I think I set the week 1 rankings or something, and I didn't really check. I had a intern doing the weekly stuff. On the season rankings, Kyle, last year I want to say like 17 to 19, I think, overall. But I believe I had top of the last 3 years, I'm number 1 in quarterback rankings over the last 3 years average. And then the 3 years before that, because they do it in chunks of 3 years, the average, I was number 1 in tight end rankings. So quarterback number 1 over the last 3 years currently, my man. That was walking out of 2020, 2021, and 2019, 2020, 2021. Yeah. That was for quarterback rankings. Overcome. Thoughts on punting tight end all the way to the 200s where Taysom Hill sits comfortably. I love it because if you can get Cole Kmet with him, then I love it. If you can get a Okonkwo, that's not 200s, but if you punt quarterback till Okonkwo's there, get a Okonkwo and Taysom Hill, and you're not really risking anything. $9.99 gets an absolute moonshot. Appreciate you, but I don't mind. I don't mind my guy punting tight end. I don't. I think there's so many talented tight ends that you can get into that tight end room, bro. Go Taysom Hill and Kincaid. You could get both those guys together. That would be a fine start, my guy. Absolutely amazing. Smitty, catching you when I can. Kirkwood, appreciate you being here. Kyle, appreciate you. Cooper Kupp was right there with JJ in points per game before he got hurt. This is true, but he's also had only 2,000-yard seasons to his name, and he just turned 30 years old. So, I mean, tit for tat. You know, you could say that, I could say this. I mean, I'm not saying Cooper Kupp's not a first rounder. I'm just saying at 4 or 5 overall, if you're going to draft him off of points per game, you've got a good argument, but I've got an equally negative argument for you, Jim. And the phone line's open if you'd like to discuss it in a calm manner. I'm not saying call in to get blasted. I'm just saying you can call in and discuss this with me, but for every point you have, I have a counterpoint. Not saying I'm team not drafting Cooper Kupp at all. I'm just saying 4 or 5 overall. Give me Bijan. Give me Bijan every time over Cooper Kupp. Give me Jamar Chase over Cooper Kupp, and then I never have a problem. I never have to draft Cooper Kupp. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to draft Cooper Kupp, but I'm never drafting him because Bijan's always on the board in that dilemma. And Cooper Kupp with only 2,000-yard seasons to his name, one of which was barely like 1,100 yards. He's had that one monster year, and then per game fantasy football points last year, you can tack that on and say, oh, he's so magnificent. And I love Cooper Kupp, but he's got a potentially volatile quarterback situation. He's got a lot going on. Jonathan, live on the show. Jonathan, first of all, I want to apologize. Denny said that I was a little hard on you, and Denny didn't even know what was going on. Denny wasn't even coherent yesterday, and if he observed that I was hard on you, I must have been. And so for that, I want to apologize, Jonathan, and I appreciate you calling back in. But what's going on? Keep me up, or update me with your situation, and let's attack it. You're live.
It's going good. It's going good. But no, you don't have to apologize. I mean, I don't think you were too hard.
I didn't either. Maybe Denny was wrong.
You were just putting your 2 cents in. So I mean, I appreciate the honesty, bro. So no, we good, man.
All right, good. Denny was wrong again. That's all right.
But no, I just wanted to update you with the order, how things have been falling. So I ended up getting, Justin Fields on the first, and then I ended up getting Breece Hall in the second, and then on the third, I ended up getting, because you just spoke about Cooper Kupp, but he fell all the way into the third round.
Okay,
so I mean, I had to grab him.
Dynasty PPR?
Yeah, Dynasty, yeah.
Okay. So let me explain that in 1 second. So Fields in 1, Breece Hall in 2, and Kupp in 3. So let me explain something real quick. This is where I feel like people don't listen to me, Jonathan. This is not to you at all, but it's like I love the Cooper Kupp value. I absolutely love that value. And then Bob's going to come in here and say, Smitty, wait a minute. You don't like Cooper Kupp. I never once said I don't like Cooper Kupp. I'm trying to explain it to the Bobs out there. I don't like his ADP. I don't like him at 4 or 5. I love him at 12. He's not going to fall to 12, so I'm probably not going to draft him. But in a dynasty startup PPR, this to me is equivalent to like falling to 12 in a redraft. So I absolutely love this value because guess what? You've got plenty of future going on here, bro. There's nothing wrong with doing a mixed bag and trying to attack the now hardcore, building for the future. And who the hell says you won't land the next Kenneth Walker off waivers because some Bob drops him like we advised him not to do last year? You know how many stories I've heard, and you're probably not going to see him dropped in Dynasty, but he was dropped in redraft in so many leagues after week 1 and 2. Equivalently, he might be sold low. So in the case of Dynasty, you might be able to go in. So I'm just saying, like, have faith in yourself, and you do, to say, you know what, I'll take a Cooper Kupp, I'll take a value. I wouldn't even care if you drafted Henry in a couple rounds and you go win a championship and you be astute, you be on top of waivers, you're on top of trades, you're on top of buy low, sell highs, and you turn this team into a conglomerate now and a future conglomerate as well.
So the reason why I went with Cooper Kupp is that I did a trade, and now I have 2 back-to-back fourth rounders, and they're right next to each other. It's the 403 and the 404. And I can easily get a Drake London and a Watson, or like a Drake London and a Tony Pollard. And I feel like that's a great foundation of a team to win now and also have for the future.
Yeah, bro. I love it. I mean, your start's great. It's a good mix of everything. Uncle Philly says JJ over Chase in my rank. I'll look and see if there's some sort of alphabetical or some sort of sorting issue that I had. But Chase will probably be valued at the same dollar amount, but sometimes because they're even, it'll organize and put Justin Jefferson above them. So I'll try and fix that. But they should have the same dollar amount, Uncle Philly, and be equal on the rankings. But also keep in mind, Uncle Philly, just to address this real quick, my rankings won't always match what I'm predicting, because if I'm telling you, as an example, St. Brown could be the number 2 or 3 wide receiver in fantasy football 2023. I'm not saying he will be. He could be. I'm still ranking him appropriately. But the fantasy football advice, the bold predictions, the written content is your support to say, hey, here are the rankings. Because if I have Joe Burrow as the number 1 quarterback, I'm not ranking him number 1, Uncle Philly. I'm not, because then what do I have people do? They take my rankings to the draft and they draft Joe Burrow as the first quarterback drafted. And so rankings are tricky. Rankings are kind of a combination of what a person should expect, and then the other content supports where you in your mind get away with, obviously letting them fall and saying, okay, Smitty's got Joe Burrow slotted around 4. That's a good combination of where he thinks he's respecting him enough based on his projection, but also doesn't want to push him up too high so that I go out and draft Joe Burrow number 1 out of all quarterbacks. I want to take him at 4 or 5. You want to take Joe Burrow 4 or 5 as an example. Sometimes I do want to emphasize somebody and I just rise them up really high and they are sticking out like a sore thumb. But in that sense, my content will also support that and say, hey, by the way, you might see St. Brown really high right now because I'm really trying to emphasize he's going to be a big deal this year. But this content, the written content, is going to tell you to dial back where you draft him. So rankings are tricky. It's like a combination of everything you're trying to put together. And so, be careful on that one. Appreciate you, Uncle Philly. So Cortez, what are you doing with this next pick then? You say you're taking London or Tony Pollard?
Yeah, so I have, like I said, I have 2 4th-rounders back-to-back from each other. So I was thinking about going, Drake. I'm going to grab Drake London for sure. And then probably Pollard or Watson. One of those 2.
That'd be a team.
Are the ones that I really like.
That'd be a team, bro.
And then I'll draft Love, probably like around the maybe 6th round, 7th round, hopefully if he falls to me. And he'll be my QB too, because I like Love.
Bro.
I agree with what you said.
Yeah, Love is fantastic. And what I always tell people is you want to get a team that you can't draft in a redraft. So if let's say somebody drafted Deshaun Watson in round 1. Like at 12 overall, and then let's say they took give me a QB that went at like 13, 14, 15, 16 in your draft.
Richardson.
Okay. So Richardson.
AR-15.
Okay. So Richardson went 15.
See,
so who's that? Can you tell me that guy's team? Give me that guy's team.
He has Trevor Lawrence, and he has that's all he has right now because he traded away his pick.
Okay, so let me give you. So anybody's trying to take in what I'm saying on this. If in round 1,
let me give you an example. So the 12th one, the 12th quarterback that went was it was Dak.
Okay,
Dak Prescott went 12 overall, like at the QB.
Let me paint this picture real quick. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so T-Law in a dynasty startup is probably going. In a regular 1 QB dynasty startup is probably going like somewhere around 4 or 5. We'll put him right here. So the Law Dog goes here. Anthony Richardson, I imagine in a dynasty startup, he probably goes in the same territory. Tough to really say on a 1 QB. And then, so let's say this guy drafts let's say he drafted Tony Pollard. Pollard's going in the late 2nd round in dynasty. Probably still around that. We'll give the benefit of the doubt to him. And let's say he gets a London who's probably going in the 3rd or 4th round, top of round 4, or maybe we'll say bottom of round 3. So London. So that guy right there, bro. So if anybody's understanding what I'm saying, this is that guy's team. Let's say he had draft picks. He's got it. Look at the board. If this is a 1 QB league, you can draft this team actually pretty poorly, right? This team fits into a draft board, but we look at your team, bro. We look at your team. This is how you know you dominate a superflex. It's very, very simple, and a lot of people just don't understand what I'm saying and I want to map it out. You took Fields in a dynasty startup. Fields is probably going in 4 at least, maybe the 3rd round. I'd say let's put him at the top of 4 just to be safe. Cooper Kupp is probably going in the 2nd round somewhere, even in the dynasty startup. He's not going in round 1. Who was your Breece Hall? Breece Hall is probably going in the 1st round in a dynasty startup 1 QB. And then you said London. So like London's in this,
London.
Yeah, London's in this territory. We'll put London, I think, where we had him last time. So London's right here. And then Tony Pollard is going in round 2. And then Jordan Love, who we do believe in, is probably going in like 6 or 7. So we'll put Love in 6. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Look at this team. The team he's drafting in a 1 QB league is impossible to draft in a dynasty startup. in a 1 QB league. So he in a 2 QB league, he's drafting a team that you plotted out on a 1 QB board, and it doesn't make sense. That's how you know you crush a super flex draft. It's really, you reverse engineer it, and you look at it and you say, what the hell? How'd you do that? It's because of the advantage of taking Fields in round 1. That's why I said you gotta go Fields.
There's legit like 3 people on the league right now that don't even have a quarterback yet, and we're already in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
So like these dudes quarterback ones are going to be like a Daniel Jones, or something in that nature, like a Kirk Cousins. And like I wouldn't mind having Kirk as a QB2, but not as my QB1.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think I'm doing pretty well. I think I would probably go. Would you go Drake London and Watson, or would you go Drake London and Pollard?
That's so tough. London and Watson give you more longevity, because Pollard, he's an RB. He's also franchise tag, so he does not have a long-term deal. If Pollard gets injured this year, he will probably not have a starting job next year. It's the reality, the harsh reality of the dynasty angle that we're looking at right here. In redraft, we love Pollard, top 5 to 10 season. Let's go.
What about Stevenson? Or Metcalf? What about Metcalf? Because he's there too. Like London and Metcalf, or
Stevenson's great, but I probably go wide receivers they have more longevity. I probably go Watson and London if it's me. Someone said that Love's not in round 6. Well, we're talking about dynasty 1 QB, and we don't really know there's no good dynasty ADP. Every league's different, so I just put them somewhere high to give myself not the benefit of the doubt, so that the team looked, so like wherever you throw Love in a 1 QB dynasty,
Love
he's going higher than in a redraft.
His ADP right now, because like I said, we're drafting right now. It's just a slow draft.
Yeah.
Because it's a startup, but Love right now he's anywhere between the 6th and 7th round.
Well, that's 2
and
QB.
That's a super flex.
Yeah, so that's 2 QB, but I would say and I don't know that that's even that accurate. The suggested rank's always jacked up, but in a dynasty startup, I wouldn't be surprised if it was in this territory, just because you're talking about someone building a team from the ground up. They look at the values differently, and the dynasty ADP's garbage. You can't even trust it. You don't even know. You go into a dynasty draft, I promise you it's not going to follow the ADP, or it's going to follow the suggested rank on one platform differently than the suggested rank on another, so the ADPs are going to be totally off, and you just got to know where you're drafting. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to do a video on that Superflex concept of looking at it reverse engineer style and understanding what it means to say, hey, you can't draft this team in a 1 QB. Well, Smitty, I'm not playing in a 1 QB. Right, but you plot the value backwards and you can see whether you drafted well. Because these people that take Danny Dimes in the 2nd round and a Superflex think they're making out like bandits, bro. You're getting Jordan Love. And you got Fields, and you're crushing him at every other position. And in a Superflex, when in round 1, it's going QB, straight down the board, and even in round 2, it's QB, and you're essentially drafting against traffic in round 2, and you're essentially drafting against traffic in round 3 as well. You're drafting against traffic here, you're drafting against traffic here. You're constantly drafting against traffic. So
I will say that I was wanting to tell you that Jahmyr Gibbs ADP, man, is skyrocketing, man, because I was literally going to draft him with my 3rd pick, and the guy right before me, man, swiped him right in front of my eyes. So that's what I was going to go. I was going to go Reese and Gibbs. That would have been nasty. But unfortunately, the guy, took him away. So I was like, man, best player available, win now type mode. I had to go with my little Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
That guy's just not human.
Hey, hang tight, Jonathan. I got to get to the other callers real quick. You can hang on hold real quick. Bryson, super chat. Yeah. 10-man PPR, 2 flex, 1 QB, T-Law, Russell Wilson. So 1 QB, 2 flex, so not super flex. Russell Wilson, T-Law. So T-Law, you're good. Walker, Charbonnet, Stevenson. Bryson, you still here? J.K. Dobbins, Chubb. Did I already get to this one? 10-man. Hawkinson like to trade Najee and J.K. Yeah, I think I did do that one. Okay. Appreciate you, Bryson, for that super chat. If I didn't answer it fully, ask you something else, and I'll definitely attack it differently. Brees or Olave? In a dynasty startup, probably Brees, but I love them both, bro. And wide receivers are so advantageous. Did somebody drop a gifted membership or something? What do we? I think we got some renewals coming in. We got some renewals coming in. Appreciate everybody renewing, by the way. Sick Nasty dropping a $4.99 hauler on screen. Sick Nasty says, my startup Dynasty Tight End Premium League draft is next month, and we're going to start doing more Dynasty content. Yeah, the Dynasty channel, I promise you, it's hard to get it going every day, but I promise you we will get there. I'm not promising a date because I keep saying, starting tomorrow, we're going to do a show every day on the Dynasty channel. I promise you we will get there. I can't promise when it starts, but this year for sure. And preferably before, mid-July. So preferably tonight, I want to do a Dynasty show every single day on the Dynasty channel. So subscribe to the Dynasty channel. The link is right here if you guys have not subscribed yet. Dynasty channel link here. You go. Subscribe to that bad boy right now. Anthony dropping, and we'll help you out. We'll get you there, Sick Nasty. Appreciate your super chat, by the way, pal. Diggs is going to quit when Kincaid becomes the number one. And I don't know that, look, what he's saying is funny. He's not going to quit. That's crazy. But we did see Ridley quit. I'm just saying, when there's a upset wide receiver and he's going nuts on the sideline, he doesn't talk to anybody for months in the offseason. He doesn't show up for day one. There's a lot of animosity there. He wants the ball. He's complaining constantly. He wants to be traded. He wants out of Buffalo. It's not so far-fetched to say, okay, I don't think he's going to quit. But I don't know what the hell he's doing and what he's thinking. Let me draft St. Brown. Let me draft Garrett Wilson, and I'll put Diggs just 2 spots below. That's my point. That's my emphasis on caution as it relates to Diggs. And that's it. It's nothing more than that. It's not don't draft him. It's not don't take him at 11 or 12 overall. And it's not even some of these hardcore stances like do not draft him. St. Brown's better than him. Anybody that doesn't have open-mindedness to at least say, I understand, I get it. They're set in their ways and they're stubborn, and it's fine, and I appreciate that. But let's just no one's saying he's quitting, Matt. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you can understand where somebody says, look, we've seen crazy happen before. We've seen Antonio Brown walk off the field. We've seen AB do crazier things than that too. We've seen Calvin Ridley walk off the field, essentially in the offseason. And so you never know. You never know. And that's why you got to say, okay, two spots. Is that fair? Is me dropping Diggs 2 spots an overreaction to the off the field issues and potential situation? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think that's absolutely acceptable. Dropping Diggs 2 spots to account for a little craziness that might come his way. Super chat from Terry Roberts. Smitty, you hit 19K, my guy. Way to go. Yep, we celebrated that on the 4th of July, and appreciate all of you. Right behind my head, you see the 19K. Right up here. The show, 19K, baby. 19K. We swapped that out live on the show. We're heading to 25. 25 to the moon. Let's go. Terry Roberts, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Where are we at? What are the Dynasty Channel, Smitty, Baked In Boys? Let's go. Where's Baked In Boys? Baked In Boys needs to call in. We need to have a little chat. Diggs is him. You can put your little steam emoji all you want, but that little steam emoji represents Diggs' frustration about being in Buffalo. So, good. Appropriate emoji, Jake the Snake. Appropriate emoji. Let's go over to Isaac. Isaac, you're live. I'm sorry about the wait. Forgot you were there.
It's all good. What's up, Smitty?
I forgot both of you were there. Keith, hang tight, Keith. Let's go to Isaac first, and then, let's see what you guys got. Lay it on me.
So I just took over a team for this auction league I have. I was wondering if I can give you the lineup see what you think of it.
Yes. Can you wait one brief second? I'm sorry, bro. One
Yeah,
brief
no.
second. Thoughts on Punk Team Tight. Okay, I think I'm caught up on my super chats except for this one, and I don't want Wild Bill to wait. Wild Bill says, "Hey brother, do you know what is up with the no weekly winners on Underdog Fantasy? I've updated everything. Anyone else having issues? If you're on iPhone, you should see it. Otherwise, if you update your app, then if you update the Underdog app, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty." We draft these weekly winners contests are absolutely amazing, and I'm going to drop that link right now. Go ahead and get in there and sign up if you're new. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. That link has just been dropped. I'm going to pin the link right now, and that's where we're going to draft tomorrow night. So make sure you are subscribed or you've clicked and you're all ready to go on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Update your app if you're on iPhone. If you don't see it, they might have taken that away in your state that you can't do the pick'ems. But usually, if you can't see the pick'ems, then you know that's why. But if you're on Android, they're messing with, I guess, updating with the Android app. I don't know. They're messing with it. They're trying to get it, I guess, going. I don't know how far along they are. I'm not going to be able to find out how far the development team is on something like that. So you're just going to have to wait on that one. But I appreciate you, Wild Bill. And if I have any news, you can be darn sure I'm going to talk about it like over and over and over. Once I know, you'll hear about it every live stream. I'll put it on my Instagram stories. I'll be talking about it like crazy. So make sure you do that. Sick Nasty, appreciate that super chat. I did answer that. Did you get my last super, bro? Yeah, I did read it. I said that the Dynasty channel, we would be kicking into gear every day as much as, it's probably going to be, I would say, within the week, I'm going to start getting on there every day. I can't promise the day. I can just promise that we will be trying to do daily shows and executing on daily shows pretty much every day. I just got to get to that point. I've had a lot on my plate to try and work that in, and I will get to it, I promise. Is that the question you're talking about? I did answer that a little bit ago. All right, go ahead, Isaac. I'm sorry about the wait.
No, it's okay.
Thank you.
Like I said, I just took over this team. Yeah, so I'll just start off with the quarterbacks, I guess. Basically, I have nothing. We have Kyler Murray, Desmond Ridder, and Zach Wilson. Those are my quarterbacks.
Kyler Murray, Desmond Ridder. Okay, Zach Wilson. That's not good.
No. I got good running backs, though. We have Travis Etienne, CMC, Kenneth Walker, Alexander Madison, Khalil Herbert, and Demont.
Madison. So you have ETN, CMC, Walker, Madison. Who else?
Demont.
Okay.
And Khalil Herbert.
Am I missing anybody? Herbert.
Herbert, Demont, CMC, Madison, Walker.
No Charbonnet?
ETN.
No Charbonnet?
No.
Okay.
And then for receivers, not much either. I mean, we have Christian Watson and Tyler Boyd and Michael Thomas.
Okay. And your quarterbacks, you said, were Kyler. It's one QB?
Yeah, one QB.
And your tight end?
And Njoku.
Okay. Well, I mean, you clearly have good running back depth to kind of move around and make this work. You're kind of in a position where you should probably bank on Kyler. I mean, you just got to hope he comes back. This is probably going to be, you could potentially trade, buy somebody low. I mean, I would try and trade Kyler. I'd try and trade Kyler in a first rounder to get Fields or T-Law or Burrow or, someone of that nature. But if you can't go that route, and you can't identify, there's a team that has like Hurts and T-Law, or Herbert and T-Law, and you could go after T-Law. That's something I would totally do. And you could give a first rounder and Kyler. You give them a quarterback back, and you're also giving them a first rounder, and they feel like, God, I got two quarterbacks. This is great. I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden you got an elite tight end or elite quarterback.
Yeah, so this is a like an auction league. I've never done one of these, so I think you get the players for like a contract for like 3 years, I believe.
Okay, this is a lot more complicated then. How many, just briefly, because this is going to be too complicated for the call, but briefly, like, give me the top guys' years. So Watson's like a 2 or 3 year deal left?
So I'm trying to look. I really don't know where to see all, like, the rest of the league.
Okay.
But I was just more so thinking, like, asking, like, of the team I have.
Yeah, but here's the problem though, bro. Without the contracts, I can't really even go anywhere, because I don't know if CMC's on a 1 year deal and you're losing him. He's going back to the auction. This, you know what I mean? So
yeah. So
in general,
I can see my
go ahead.
So, like, CC this year would be a free agent, a restricted free agent. So we have to do an auction for him.
CMC?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think you don't have him? Then he's not on your team.
No, I guess not.
Okay.
So the way it works is, like, in the auction, like, if somebody bids higher than me, I have the ability to match it if I want.
Okay, then you have his rights. It's all coming clear.
Yeah.
So you have his rights. You can maybe retain him. Okay. I don't mind that too. If someone bids and you probably get a discount, I imagine, right? Like a 10% discount, or no?
No.
I'd probably try and trade Madison because his value's high. I would try and trade the rights to to CMC. I would keep Watson. I wouldn't trade him. His value's not high enough in everyone else's eyes to even get what you want. I would try and go after Olave. I'd try and go after London. I'd try and go after St. Brown. I'd try and go after Charbonnet. I'd be comfortable with ETN and Walker as my 2 RBs and getting rid of this piece right here to either upgrade at wide receiver or use the money to grab. I don't know. Is T Law, like, does somebody own? This is the last question. I got to jump to the next call because we could go in circles on this one because there's so many avenues I don't even know. But are there any good quarterbacks that are free agents? Any good quarterbacks you can even bid on?
I would need to get back to you on that one. It's kind of hard to see the rest of the league,
Yeah. This is a tough one, bro. It's a little hard to get into. But if you got like a specific player question, like, hey, do you like this guy or this guy? Or, hey, what player would you target for that? That might be easier. All right, let's go over to Isaac or Keith.
Hello?
Mm-hmm. Hello?
Smitty, I just wanted to tell you real quickly several things. One, love the show as always. Two, I went back-to-back in championships again. So I went to the championship my first year in the league, and then I won the year again, and then I won again. So back-to-back, and I've listened to you for a long time. I've been I got my grandchild with me. Long story short, Smitty, and I'll get off the line. They're Shaq rules and me again. They're putting in the rules because I've won so many times. And what they're doing is now they're taking out, because these guys do DraftKings, they're thinking that their benches are smart or better than mine, and they're taking away the defense and they're putting in an extra flex. And so I've been very religious in listening to your videos, and I'm high. I had ASJ on my team last year. I had ASB. I had St. Brown on my team last year. I ended up picking up, like you said earlier in the call, picking up Kenneth Walker. Picked him up, had Pacheco picked him up, and then Swift come on for me. So my question was going to be, sorry about the grandchild. My question is going to be, what do you think about, I've been going heavy receiver at the start. I've been going Chase. I've been going, if he ain't there, I've been staying away from Diggs. I've been going, because if Chase is falling to 7-8, I've been mocking. I've been going Chase, St. Brown, Wilson, or Olave. And then I'm trying to get Gibbs if he's there in the third or fourth, and I'll get him. Otherwise, I've been going heavy receiver to start just because I feel good, and then picking up Burrow at the tail end of it. Just thank you ahead of time. Love listening to you, brother, and keep on doing the right thing.
Yeah, hang tight real quick. So you're drafting at 7?
I've been mocking at 7 because they've been putting me towards the end. They call it. They say it's random draw, but I don't believe it.
Okay. Okay.
Because I've had 7 and 8 and 7 3 years in a row, and I keep winning.
Yeah, you can mute if you want while I answer, and if you have another follow up, just jump right back in. But I'd say, like, if you're drafting at 7, you're probably not getting Chase. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt you're getting Chase at 7. So,
What would you think,
just
Smitty, about
expect him
that
to be
extra
gone.
flex? How would you go about in a PPR league redraft with that one extra flex and no defense? Does that change anything for you?
Is 2 running backs, 2 or 3 wide
Yes, sir. Two running backs, 2 receivers, 2 flex, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, 1 kicker.
Okay, 1 tight end, 1 QB. Doesn't really change much. I mean, the thing I would say is that you're probably going to want, it depends on your crew. If your crew gobbles up RBs, you have to be mindful of that while also wanting to potentially draft against traffic. You could see a Alvin Kamara. This is redraft, right?
Yes, sir. Redraft.
You could see Alvin Kamara going around 4 or 5 in a league like this, and you could see him in a normal league where people are, I think, on top of it all. I'm not saying your league isn't on top of it, but on top of it, like best ball all day long, people are just heavy embedded in drafting daily, and they're seeing the mocks, they're seeing what other people are doing, they're playing best ball. You'll see Kamara dropping like the 7, 8, 9 territory. So it really is hard to project. But if let's say you just settle on the fact that you're going to get Garrett Wilson in round 1, you're getting like a pick 8 to 12. If you get an 8 to 12 pick, then maybe it's G Willie. And I don't think there's any reason you couldn't get a potential St. Brown or Olave with that next pick if you wanted to go heavy wide receiver. But Barkley's also fantastic in the second round if you need to go RB and you want to go balanced into round 3 so you can kind of make your best decision without any pressure of going position over player, because I'm all about taking the best player available. I don't draft a position, I draft a player. But right. Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, let's just say you got that. Let's just say these guys are sleeping on St. Brown. I've seen it before, so it's not crazy, but it shouldn't happen. But if this is your second round pick and this is your first round pick, and you come out with St. Brown and Garrett Wilson as your top 2 guys, you could come in strong and get Gibbs in 3 a tad early if need be, because you have a late third round pick, and you could come in and get Walker a tad early in 4. You might even get lucky and see Walker fall to 5, but it seems to be in the more grandma league it is, the more he goes in 4, and people don't realize he's fallen to 5. Which is a weird thing, because it's in that sense, I feel like the grandmas are more accurate, because I think Walker belongs in 4, 9, and 5. But he's been slipping to 5.1 to 5.2. But if you walk out with Garrett Wilson, a St. Brown type of wide receiver, a Gibbs and a Walker, and you get Burrow or Fields in 5, which you could get or you might not get, depends on how QB hungry they are. Some leagues, they take them all in the 3rd round. Some leagues don't take quarterbacks for a while. I bet Fields has a lot better chance of falling into round 5. If you walk out with Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, Gibbs, Walker, Fields, you have to get Charbonnet later. You can't even see that. Walker, Fields, yeah. So if you walk out with Fields in 5, Walker in 4, Gibbs in 3, St. Brown in 2, Garrett Wilson in 1, and you get Charbonnet later, smash, bro. Straight smash. But you could also mix it up and go Barkley. Barkley's a great pick this year in round 2. If you go Barkley here, and let's say instead of Walker you went London, which I think you could probably get in your league in round 4, bro, that's fantastic as well. Garrett Wilson,
definitely a grandpa league, Smitty. These guys did not put the time I put into it, and it doesn't make me special. It just makes me wise and smart, and them dumb, because they're not spending the time they need. And so a lot of times, like you'll say, get somebody waiver wire or whatever, like we're talking in the draft, and these guys are drafting Josh Allen. And I'm fine like you are about early QB. I'm not dissing that. I'm just saying they're getting Josh Allen, pick 2, and then all of a sudden somebody's picking Mahomes pick 5, and I'm sitting there looking at somebody I didn't think.
But that makes me think you're in a super flex draft.
I would think so as well, but the way these guys draft, at least in years past,
I know, but are you? Matt O asked the question in the chat. Are you positive that this extra flex is not a added super flex, bro?
I have looked at that, and the only eligible on ESPN people you can put in there are running back, receiver, or tight end.
So you're positive it's a 1 QB league?
Yes, sir. I am
Okay.
positive. I thought that as well because I've mistake draft on mock draft superflex, and
Bro,
it's a different vibe. But
look, as much as I love early quarterback, if people are going to draft Mahomes and Allen and those guys in round 1, do not follow suit, because the quarterback pool is so deep. You will be guaranteed an Aaron Rodgers and a Jordan Love later, an Anthony Richardson and an Aaron Rodgers later, probably a T. Law. But even if T. Law goes early, don't worry about it. Fight it, go against traffic, and you will clean up, bro. I promise you. You will absolutely mop the floor with these guys if they start drafting quarterbacks in round 1 in a 1 QB league. Don't get tempted to just follow.
You gave me that great information last year when I called you before, because you had been high on Burrow, and I waited in our draft. These guys were going everybody you could imagine. I ended up scooping Burrow up in the 9th round. And he brought the whole thing home for me. So
grandma's versus grandpa's league. This sounds like two different.
Amen.
Divisions.
Hey, and you talking to the grandpa here? If they can be the grandmas, I'll be the grandpa. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, division of 1 against 9 other guys. Is it a 10 team? I imagine you can't.
It's a 10 team. Yes, sir. It is.
I've never heard of a 12 team grandma league. It's always 10. You can't find 12. You can't find 12. All right, hey, appreciate you, Keith. Keep dominating. Call in anytime. I've got you on the phone line, so you know I'm here for you. Dial in whenever you need me.
Appreciate you, brother. You have a great one, Smitty. God bless.
Later. I like Keith. Keith's funny, man. All right, phone line's open if anybody wants to dial in, but I knew it's a 10-man league. And hey, Keith, if you're listening right now, in a 10-man, I forgot to say this, in a 10-man, even more of a reason to not go early quarterback. In a 10-man, you are 1,000% guaranteed to have a killer QB room when you're the last person to draft a QB. You get to draft QB last, and you'll clean up, bro. What's up? You're live on the show.
Hey, what's up? It's Vinta. How's it going?
What's up, man?
Hey, not too bad, Smitty. You think this whole Diggs drama is something stemming from last year of how they, got outed in the playoffs, and then Diggs is sitting there in the offseason looking at the draft, and they take a tight end, and he's going, what the hell are you guys thinking? Right? I love Dalton Kincaid, but I think Diggs is maybe being a drama queen, seeing them draft Josh Allen's future security blanket here.
I mean, bro, we don't know what's going on. I mean, it certainly is stemming from last year. And that's why I say when Josh Allen said this, I'm not calling Josh Allen a liar. I love Josh Allen. But when Josh Allen said this right here, he said, I love him. That's my guy. Allen said of Diggs. The media has blown this out of proportion. We're not playing a game for 4 months. He doesn't show up for 1 day. And then this other piece right here, where let me see if I can find it. 1 second. It's right here, where Josh Allen said no reason to continue to talk about this. I mean, these are all things that, like, I agree the media is going to run with it to a certain degree, and I don't think I'm a part of it in a way that's a misstep. I think I'm a part of it in terms of it's preventive. Maintenance for your fantasy football, team. And I'd be, in my opinion, reckless to not tell you, this is how I feel. This is how me taking in 20 years of seeing these experiences unfold. It's not like I'm just throwing mud at the wall. Like, literally, not just played fantasy for 20 years. I professionally played for well over 20 years, so many more years than 20 years, but professionally for 20 years, looked at this stuff. And you got to say, okay, the Bills have been shaky here and there. They're always going to be a contender, but you just don't know what year it's going to fall apart. You got this guy wanting a trade. He wants out. He's not showing up because he's so upset he wants out. He was literally irate on the sidelines and upset with everybody. And everybody just thinks because he's Diggs, because they own him, or maybe you own him in a dynasty league, so you're just defensive, or whatever the case may be, that everything's going to be fine. For sure going to be fine. How are you for sure going to be fine? For me, I am an odds, predictor type of guy. Like, I'm here to talk about percentage chance of this, percentage chance of this. And when I say that there's a reason to take a little bit of a sidestep over to St. Brown, I'm not talking about avoiding Diggs. I'm not talking about him being a bust, but just a little sidestep over to St. Brown, a little shimmy on over to Garrett Wilson.
Totally.
Those are appropriate reactions to a situation where you have Josh Allen saying this wasn't football. He's not here. It's not football related. It was football related. Like it had to do with, he was wanting more, targets. There's a lot involved in it. He felt slighted. There's a lot going on. And I think that maybe drafting Kincaid, subconsciously pissed him off. I don't think he's like going to admit to it. Like, oh, I'm scared of a rookie tight end. I don't think he's mentioning that. I don't think he's told anybody that. Him saying I'm worried about Kincaid, that's probably the last thing that this, he's arrogant. All wide receivers are. He's a diva. And sometimes we like that about a player. I like that Aaron Rodgers is arrogant. So it's not a bad thing that he's an arrogant player, but he's an arrogant player. And do you think he's going to admit that Kincaid bothers him? He's not. If you went up to Diggs, I promise you right now, you said, are you worried about Kincaid taking some of your snaps? He'd go, pfft. Are you out of your mind, bro? I don't even know who's Kincaid. Give me a coffee. That's how he'd treat him. So I think subconsciously, maybe it just rubbed him the wrong way. Like they're kicking the tires on Hopkins probably didn't help. Will he admit that he's worried about that? No.
Right.
But,
and I mean, I think on some level, he is pissed off about the Kincaid pick because he's seeing before Kincaid gets picked, he's the alpha on that team, the number one target on that team. I mean, Dawson Knox, like you just said, is going to become a blocking tight end, so they don't think much of him as a receiver. Gabriel Davis can't stay healthy, and he's a boomer bust type of guy. So they bring in Kincaid, and I think Diggs goes, oh, so now you want to take away targets from me, the experienced veteran wide receiver that's built this rapport, and you want to give it to Kincaid.
I think subconsciously maybe, but again, I don't think this is anywhere part of the issue. I think this is just maybe he was steaming, and then this made him a little more mad. Like, can I admit that? Maybe. But it has nothing to do with he is so arrogant, and like I said, rightly so in some ways. He's a skilled guy. But he's so arrogant and a diva. He is
right.
He
He's
probably
not going to admit that.
He probably not only would he not admit it, but he probably doesn't truly believe anybody can take anything away from him, bro. He believes that he made Josh Allen. I can almost promise you that a part of him believes he's the bigger reason Josh Allen's good, and
right.
that this isn't a two-way relationship.
Yeah,
so,
and I think him and the Buffalo's brass aren't getting along. I honestly think Diggs thinks he can run the organization differently, and that's where they're at a crossroads.
Yeah. I think.
But anyways, Benny, appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Later, man. Yeah, again, I know some of you know what I'm saying, and some of you, like Swaggy, don't know what I'm saying. There's no concern of bust. There's no running away from Diggs entirely. It just comes down to, are there a couple guys you had pretty closely ranked anyway? Now it's time to move them up one or two slots because you already felt very, very close anyways. If you did. If you don't, if Diggs is your number one, then so be it. So be it. He's entitled to all wide receivers are elite wide receivers are diva. They are. I mean, we talk about that all the time. And it's not a bad thing necessarily. Smitty, give me a coffee, bro. Get me a coffee, Terry. Terry, I appreciate you. Terry's one of the best mods on the planet. Him and I think Travis is in here somewhere. You guys are absolute monsters. Kincaid isn't a safe win now like Hopkins would be. To a degree, that's the way it's going to be until he proves it. I mean, you could say that about anybody, you know what I'm saying? You could say that about like, hey, Kenneth Walker wasn't safer than Penny. Penny's better, win now. Like, give him a week, and then boom, you're changing your mind. Like, Kincaid feels that way to you now, and until he's proven JCIM, of course, he's going to be less secure than Hopkins. But I promise you that if this plays out, they don't get Hopkins, you're going to start thinking very, very differently about Kincaid. You're going to start coming in going, Kincaid is him. Kincaid is him. He's a top 5 2020. He's a top 5 2024 tight end. Like, plain and simple, Like that's definitely the case. I mean, don't think for a second he's not looking so good walking out his rookie year that we're all looking at him as a top 5 tight end in 2024 redraft. And Dynasty is already there. In Dynasty, I'd take him. Exception is Kupp. I don't know what that's referring to, but again, my concerns with Kupp are definitely out there. Doesn't mean I'm avoiding him. I just told the Cortez, who drafted Kupp in the 3rd round in a dynasty, that's actually equivalent to getting him, like, I think at the 12 pick in a redraft. There's a right place to draft Cooper Kupp, and there's a wrong place to draft him. So, there you go. Let's see here. Justin, call in. The phone lines are open, wide open. Dial in. Lee, dial in. The phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Let's see here. Hey, Smitty, what do you think of this deal since you took Pitts off the Mars Man? He's off the Mars Man list. Dial into the show, guys. No block callers don't even get through, just so you know. Hey, Smitty, what do you think of this deal? Hit me with the deal, Birds. You're saying, what do I think of this deal, but you haven't even posted the deal, Birds. I don't see the deal. How am I supposed to know what deal it is? Should you call in? Lee, yeah, the phone lines are wide open, bro. I don't have a single caller on right now, so now's the time, Lee. Now's the time to call in. Dial in. What's up, Ninja? What else did you have?
Yo, sorry. I got a fantasy startup dynasty draft that I just jumped in on, and we're 3 picks in. I started off with Trevor Lawrence, Jahmyr Gibbs, and T.J. Hawkinson, and I'm trying to figure out who I should get for my 4th pick.
Trevor Lawrence. Give me the team one more time.
So yeah, it's a single QB, single running back league. And it's a dynasty startup draft. So I got Trevor Lawrence in the 1st round. I'm in the middle of it's a 16-man league, so I'm in the middle of the
QB,
draft.
1 QB?
Yeah, 1 QB.
Why'd you take T-Law in round 1?
It's a
Hello?
So yeah, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, all those guys were going off in the dynasty startup draft in the 1st round.
You just let them, bro. You just let them. I don't jump into that. I don't start driving with traffic. But go ahead, hit me with your team. Let's go. I mean, you can still work out, but I mean, you could have cleaned up on them and taken. I would have gone rent a QB if I had to. I would have totally rolled out of Aaron Rodgers and Love and tried to develop my quarterback room. I'm not saying I wouldn't have reached a little bit, but I'm not taking T-Law in the 1st round in a 1 QB dynasty. I love him.
I like the age for T-Law. He's like, what, 24, 25, going into his 2nd season
bro.
of what could be an MVP type of season.
Give me your team.
I have him for the rest of time, so I'm down to roll with T-Law in the 1st round.
Yeah, I know. Okay, go ahead. I wouldn't, but go ahead.
I hear you, but I don't feel confident in any other QBs outside of that. It was the exception.
Well, I'll show you what I would have done, but go ahead and give me your team.
No, okay, no worries. So we got T-Law in the 1st round. We got Jahmyr Gibbs in the 2nd. And then in the 3rd, we got T.J. Hawkinson. And so there's 2 wide receiver positions and 2 flex positions.
So let me just give you my 2 cents here. Is it a premium?
Tight end premium. Well, yeah, the flex positions allow for tight end, but it's a single tight end.
But is it premium scoring or no for tight ends?
No, not premium scoring.
So my two mistakes in my opinion, and this is just my opinion. You can do whatever you want, obviously, but I wouldn't have done that.
No, I got you.
I wouldn't have done that. I also feel like Hawkinson is too high in redraft in the 3rd round. So take him, or I'm sorry, in Dynasty in the third round. I don't think I'd take him in Dynasty in the redraft or Dynasty in the third round. I think, I would have taken reached on a Kincaid. I would have done the whole Cole Kmet, just Taysom Hill combination. Even though it's Dynasty, I like Cole Kmet. I like Okonkwo. Okonkwo is going in the 10, 11, 12 round range in redraft. I don't know how much higher he would go in a regular non-premium tight end league. But, bro, both these picks were, in my opinion, potential big misses. What I would have done is, what pick did you have in the first round?
It was Trevor Lawrence.
No, what pick?
And it was pick number, let me get back to you, number 9, pick number 9. And so this is who went out. Joe Burrow first, Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes, Jamar Chase, Bijan, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, and then Trevor Lawrence in the first round there.
Yeah, I mean, you could have gone with Garrett. Like, you could have gone. This is what I would have done, bro. I would have gone Garrett Wilson. Gibbs is I don't mind that at all. And then third round, you could have easily got, who was available?
Who's available right now is...
Was Bijan gone at 1.9? Did you see
yeah,
that? Okay.
Bijan was gone before the 9th, yeah.
Yeah, who was there in the third round?
In the third round, I got T.J. Hawkinson, and then in the fourth... So my pick coming up in the 4-9 here... Christian Watson's available, George Kittle, DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, J.K. Dobbins, McLaurin, and Ridley. And I was thinking of going with Ridley here just to stack him up with Trevor Lawrence, in Dynasty and just riding. Because I believe that passing game is going to be like top 5 for like many years.
Is Kenneth Walker there?
Kenneth Walker, let me check out if Kenneth Walker is here. No, Kenneth Walker's gone.
When did he go?
Kenneth Walker went. I think he went. Yeah, he went right after right either after or before. Right before my T.J. Hawkinson pick.
Yeah, well,
looking at Ken there.
What I would have done, bro, is gone Garrett Wilson, Gibbs, London, Watson, whatever. You could have gone this, and then I almost guarantee you would have had Aaron Rodgers and whoever, and I know you wanted the longevity, but bro, this team would have smashed. I hear
you.
But as for your fourth round pick, name them off again. You got Watson, London.
No, yeah. So who's left over right now is like the top 8 is Christian Watson, George Kittle. I'm not going to go with another tight end since I got Hawkinson, so I'll just list off the running backs and receivers. So Christian Watson, DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, J.K. Dobbins, McLaurin, and Ridley.
Ridley's older, so I don't mind him, but I don't like the pick. Christian Watson's a lock here. Are you on the clock right now?
I'm not on the clock right now. There's a pick right before me, and I'm worried he's already. I mean, he has already been stacking up on 2 receivers, so he may not go Christian Watson here. But if Watson falls to me, I'm going to snag him and have a solid base here.
Golf, appreciate you. TMT dropping 5 gifted memberships. TMT to the moon, appreciate you.
To the moon.
Easy call for me, Christian Watson. Past that, bro, I don't know. I don't know if I go. I like Swift a lot, but he's a huge risk. Christian Watson. London's gone?
Right. London's already gone, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, JK's okay here. Swift is okay here, but none of them hold the value Watson has. Watson's the clear pick to me. But I'd have to have more names. I honestly.
Okay, let's assume the guy before me picks up on Watson. Who would be the second pick there?
Probably JK or Swift. I mean, Ridley, if you want to go two years at a time, Ridley would be a smart move, but he's also older and he might just have 2 years left. He's an older wide receiver. So I don't know, bro. But man, I'm telling you, next time you do this, just fight the urge to follow the trend, bro. In a 1 QB league, there's no excuse for anybody taking a QB in round 1 in a 1 QB league. It just
in a dynasty, you would say?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about you're gonna draft against traffic, and you could piece together, like I said, a combination of youth and now like Renta and Aaron Rodgers, but you could also strategically draft a couple guys you really, really like Jordan Love or, Anthony.
That makes sense.
I mean, what quarterback's available right now?
There's a Bryce Young, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, C.J. Stroud, Kirk Cousins, Goff, Rodgers, Smith, Geno Smith.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I mean, you know your league
No,
better.
yeah, I
you
mean,
know your league better than I do.
I just think Trevor Lawrence can, still outperform all those guys though too, and for to just be solid at the QB1 without having to draft multiple average QBs and hoping one of them breaks in the right direction. I mean, in redraft I wouldn't do this, but in Dynasty I think it's worth it.
I don't know that I would have coupled this risky move you'd made with the tight end in round 3 that's Hawkinson, because Hawkinson's like he's okay, but he's not a guy I'm taking in the 3rd round in a Dynasty. I mean, he's not.
Cousins made Jordan Reed a number 1 tight end in fantasy like twice. I think Hawkinson's going to kill it this year.
I like him. I just Dynasty, I'm not taking him in the 3rd round. There are too many amazing players there. All right, hey,
no, that's a good
appreciate you, Ninja. We'll talk to you later. Let's go.
All right,
over,
talk to you later, Spinny. Adios.
Let's go over to Lee real quick and then Scared Scott after that. But hang tight, Scared Scott. Don't just butt in. Let's go, Lee. Lee, go ahead.
All right. I just had a trade. I just want to know what you thought about it. So I'm offering JJ and Pickens for AJ Brown, Pierce, and Kenneth Walker.
AJB, Pierce, and Walker.
Yep. And my RBs are really weak. I have Montgomery and Robertson and Herbert.
God, this is like one of those trades where you got to take it. But at the same time, like Pickens is a really good. Like if you could take Pickens out of this, then it's a smash. But you throw Pickens in, and then it gets like complicated. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know that I do it. I think Pickens could be good enough. I don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, because I have my wide receivers are Wilson, St. Brown, Watson, and Ayuk.
Yeah, I don't do it. I think if you could take Pickens out, I would probably do it because AJ Brown's that good, and you're getting Walker. But once you throw Pickens in, it just balances the scale back into the wrong direction. If you're trading JJ, you want that scale to slam down on the upside end of your scale, your side of the scale. This right here, it's like you throw Pickens in, and it's almost like he's going, you give me JJ, and I'll give you AJ Brown, Pearson, Walker, right? And then you're like, okay, it seems legitimate, right? Because you're getting Walker, you're getting AJ Brown. This is about right. You give up JJ, you better get a receiver that could rank near the top 12 overall. Like not wide receiver, but overall value. Like AJ Brown's right around the 12, 13 turn. And then you get a Walker who's a 3rd, 4th rounder to people in Dynasty. I think he's worth more than that. And Pierce we like, but he's still going very late. So he convinces you to do this, and then it's like, well, throw Pickens in and it'll do it. And then you're in a point where he's got his foot in the door, and you're just like devaluing Pickens to make it work. In your mind, you're like, well, Pickens isn't proven yet, so I can't throw him in. No, you can't. He's arguably, Pickens is arguably, because I love Walker way more than Pickens, but he's arguably as good as either Pierce or Pickens. Arguably. Mm-hmm. In a perfect scenario, perfect world. So, yeah, you can't do this. You can't. But it's one of those trades where, like, if Pickens were out, you'd almost have to do it if you think you can't win with JJ. But, without Charbonnet included, like, there's too many factors. No way. Absolutely no.
Is there a trade that you would do for Pierce or Walker with, like, JJ or Garrett Wilson or St. Brown or one of those receivers?
So let me mock up a trade that I would do. First of all, I would try and make someone I would do a 1 for like 2 or 3. I would not be throwing Pickens players back in. So if I'm trading JJ, let's just go after a player. So you're throwing Garrett Wilson out. Garrett Wilson is significantly, D. Willie's significantly ranked lower than JJ, even if we absolutely love him. So if we go this route, like this is where you do Walker, and like I'm not saying he has Walker, but Walker and Garrett Wilson for JJ, Look, you got to overpay. You got to overpay. And honestly, this is a 3rd to 4th rounder in Dynasty to people right now, regardless of what we feel. That's his market value. You know, and sometimes he goes in the, well, maybe he's more 3rd. We'll say he's more 3rd. He goes in the 2nd sometimes, but he's more 3rd round value in Dynasty. Garrett Wilson is a 1st rounder, but he's at the at least past the mid-range point. This guy is arguably number 1 to a lot of people. You have to overpay. You can't just go from the number 1 overall player in Dynasty to a lot of people down to like the 8 and expect to get like a 6th rounder to make up that difference. You're getting a 3rd rounder. Well, guess what? Time to overpay. You want the number 1 overall pick, you got to overpay. And if not, go get me a coffee, is what you tell him. Go get me a coffee. So another example would be, let's go a little lower than Garrett Wilson. Let's go find an Olave. You know, Olave gives you a whole. See, here's what people don't, I think, do when they trade. This is what I tell everybody to do when they trade. When you trade, when you're trading one player for 2, and I'm going to do a video on this, the psychology behind it and all that, but when you're trading JJ away, 1 player and you want 2 players, okay? Draw 2 lines. Draw 2 lines. Do it on a piece of paper if you have to. Draw 2 lines, and you're going to write the player in here. If you write Garrett Wilson, then you know that you've got less value that you could get back on this line. If you draw in Olave, all of a sudden this player in this dotted line gets to be a whole lot better because Olave's significantly lower than Garrett Wilson in perceived value. So now Olave and Walker you can easily get, whereas Garrett Wilson and Walker would have been tougher. Now you got a 2nd rounder and a 3rd rounder for the number 1 overall pick. If you can't get that, you shouldn't be trading them, you know, and even without Charbonnet is a risk, but Olave and potentially a Watson, let's say you needed 2 wide receivers. You need an RB though, right? Right? Is that what your main goal is, to get an RB? So if we throw, keep in mind, you can do it this way too. People are so focused on that. You could do it this way. Name an RB you like. You like Pacheco, you like Swift, you like, who do you like?
Oh, I like Swift.
Okay, so let's put Swift in here. So Swift is your main anchor of this trade, but guess what? He's lightweight, and then the solid line, the heavier player, is actually this player. So everybody always thinks about they got to go after the big player in the trade. Why don't you go out? Why don't you start off with the light player, and he's an RB, and you like him? So Swift, guess what? JJ for Swift, you can't even get a sit down for this conversation for JJ for Swift. So this gets to be heavy as hell right here. Now you can go in and ask for a Garrett Wilson. Now you can go in and ask for a player, and your target is Swift. Your target's Swift, but you're getting their best player in the trade isn't even going to be Swift. Like you could go, let's say you have no quarterback. You could go Fields and Swift, you know, for JJ if you wanted. And that's not even good value. You'd probably have to get way more than that because Fields in a, you know, but whatever. If it's a 1 QB, if it's a 2 QB, then obviously you couldn't even do that at all. Fields is overvalued over JJ. But that's my point is you could literally go, let's say you were to go, okay, Olave here. Well, now you really might still need more. You might have to draw a 3rd line here and say, I'm also going to get, let's say, Kincaid. And then now all of a sudden you have yourself a situation where you're like, okay, here's 1 player. Here's a guy I think that can fight to be as good. Swift, you got Kincaid. Now you have a situation where you got to contemplate this. But don't be afraid to throw the weaker part in first, and then go after the teams that have Swift. Go after the team that has Swift. Go after the team that has Pacheco. Whoever your RB is, you're targeting, and see what wide receiver can balance the scale out. You know, because JJ is going to be heavy on that scale, bro. You can't just walk in. That trade you had earlier was JJ on this side. As soon as you threw Pickens in, the scale slammed down onto this side. And Pickens and JJ just were so much more valuable than what you had in that bucket of, you know, 3 guys. And he's trying to disguise Pickens like he's just a throw-in, and he's not.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I could survive with Montgomery and Brian Robinson because I have strong wide receivers.
All right, bro. Hang tight real quickly. We're going to go over to Scared Scott, who's got 5 minutes. Scared Scott, you know the rules. You're the only one on here. Even Denny gets more time than you now. You get 5 minutes of show, period. Scared Scott, go.
All right. Here's
here's where I am. I got a question here for you. I got a great team going.
You let me be the judge of that.
And my receivers are Kupp, Wilson, Watson, Kirk, and it's a 1 running back, 2 receiver, 2 flex league, and I've got Walker and Dobbins as my running backs, Perrine to back up, Burrow as the quarterback, Okonkwo and Komet as my tight ends. But I had Walker, and I was about to draft Charbonnet, and the guy before me sniped me. That's where I took Perrine. Now, on the way back, that guy had McCaffrey. So I grabbed Mitchell for a little gamesmanship. Took my back up. I took his, and his is way worse if his goes down. Do I make the trick? Should I offer Mitchell for Charbonnet?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Think so?
could Mitchell start 10 games and McCaffrey go down early? I mean, anything can happen, but McCaffrey's the starter. You said you had Walker, right? So
I have Walker, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, but the thing is, will he even do that? I mean, the difference in ADP, they have different ADPs.
Oh, you would think he would, because his only running back is he's got McCaffrey, Montgomery, and then Charbonnet and Dillon. I would think he'd want to protect McCaffrey, but maybe not.
His thinking might be, though, that he only has 1 RB, and he's like, I assume McCaffrey's staying healthy all year or I'm losing. So I'm going to bank on him staying healthy, and I'm hoping that I get a second running back out of this. That could be his thinking, protecting 1 running back slot versus having McCaffrey and maybe another running back. But their ADP's a little off. Let me go check and see how far apart they are. On Underdog Fantasy, Charbonnet's got 100 overall ADP, and Elijah Mitchell has a 124. So you're talking about a 2-round difference between the two. So my guess is he's going to tell you no.
Okay.
But I mean, I would definitely try.
Second question on this, as I've drafted down, I've added Bigsby and Chase Brown to the running back slots. My pick's up here at 9, and there's a shot that Spears is still there. Should I grab this? I've only got 2 more picks before I have to take my last in the kicker, but
I'm not a
do I
Spears.
take the Spears? Or do I go for too late, like Reed and Tank at receivers?
I take Tank Dell over him all day long, bro. Tank Dell over him all day long.
Well,
Spears has got 1
Tank,
ACL.
I got Tank. I'm going to take Tank. I think he'll be there in 2 rounds. So I think I can swing either like Spears or Reed. Jalen Reed, even though I have Christian Watson in this third to last pick.
All right, yeah,
and still get 10.
I don't like Spears. He's 1 ACL, unless he comes with a warranty. No way I'm on that train.
Something that I was missing that I had in my head somewhere why I didn't want to take him, and that was it. I just kept thinking if he goes down, Jesus, it's a run first offense.
I mean, look, he's been doing okay without it, but I'm just saying, that's there are other running backs around his territory. Chase Brown, he's one, piece of news away. Roshan Johnson,
he's got
a little bit later.
This is really late. Gone several rounds.
Yeah,
Spears really dropped.
Deuce Vaughn's kind of appealing, but you don't know that you're going to get a ton from him. You could go Jordan Mason and have both the backups to Christian McCaffrey. Maybe that gets you a better chance of making the trade. I don't know, but I don't know that Spears feels like a guy that, like, even if Henry went down, what's he going to do? Is he really going to be? Is Spears really going to be that guy? I don't think so. That's just my take. But a lot of people.
Foreman came in.
A lot of people like him. Tank Bigsby's gone?
I have to feel like good as Foreman, right?
I don't know. All right, Scott, you got 12 seconds. Final thoughts. Your time's ticking away here.
It's ticking. I don't really have, outside of Okonkwo, is going to be the third tight
Finish
end
him.
off the board next year.
Call terminated.
Appreciate you, Scott. Okay, Grant, are you still here? Russian Collusion, are you still here? Just Sherman, are you still here? Let me get to these. I'm sorry it took me a while to get to your super chats. These slipped through under my nose. Grant says, not bold enough to be on the board, but I want to get this into the chat. I say Aaron Jones finishes higher than Gibbs this year in fantasy. I mean, that's not crazy. But I do have Gibbs, a lot higher, but that's not crazy to say that. I mean, he obviously he's performed at a top 5 value before, so it's not crazy, but good one. I don't even know if that would win the competition, so like you'd have to be a little bit bolder. I would say finishes over Gibbs and he ranks number 2, or like if you said something like that, that could win if it landed. Russian Collusion, appreciate you, Grant. Grant, are you still here? Where's my boy Grant at? Grant? Russian Collusion, Smitty, would you do JJ for AJ Brown and Walker? I mean, we were just talking about that, ironically. So that's a great question. I believe I would consider it depending on what your team looks like. Do you have Charbonnet? Do you have a chance of getting Charbonnet? I feel like that's a close call, bro. It's a really, really close call. I lean no in Dynasty. Well, I don't know. It depends on Charbonnet and your running back stable, to be honest with you. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who's this? What's up, Miyagi? What are you doing, pal?
What's up, man?
Wax on, wax off.
You already know how it goes.
Yeah.
Wax on, wax off, so we don't know no more.
Paint the fence, Miyagi. What's up?
Hey, I just got a quick question for you, Smitty.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what's better? Brees and Najee and London and Ridley, or Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson and Kenneth and Madison?
All right, hold on one second. Let me get these super chats off the board. Is Grant still here? Did Grant see my answer? Grant, yeah, he's still here. Thank you, Grant. Grant, appreciate your super chat. Sorry about the delay. Russian Collusion. Is Russian here? Hopefully Russian heard my response. I think he's here. And then we have Just Sherman. Just Sherman, you're still here, right? I got your super chat queued up next. I'm going to next. Hit me real quickly, Mr. Miyagi, with those combos one more time.
We got Brees, Najee, London, Ridley, or Amon-Ra, Wilson, Kenneth, Madison. And you can let the chat know, too, or if Ron's on the phone, ask him what he thinks.
No, there's no one on the phone. Madison. Hall, Najee, London, Ridley, Amon, Wilson, Walker, Madison.
12-team PPR. Bunch of sharks, Smitty.
Bro, that's a tough one. Hall,
I know,
Najee,
right?
Wilson, Walker. The chat can vote. The chat can vote right now. So let's do some elimination, okay? And we say let's take out. This is hard because the values are so different. Let's look at it like this. This is a second rounder to third. This is Dynasty?
Redraft.
Oh, redraft. Okay. So third rounder, 3 to 4 round pick. We'll call Najee a fourth rounder because he's going there. London will say 3 to 4. Ridley's going in the 3. Amon's a 1. Wilson's a 1. Walker's a 4 to 5, but I think he's better. Madison's a 5 to 7, 5 to 6. So this is the crazy part. Like, is this a trade or is this your draft approach that you're working on?
Well, I've been mocking and I've been able to get those two options.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the better side. This Amon, Wilson, Walker, Madison. But can you change out Madison for another player?
Well, these are just like mock drafts I've been doing.
I know.
On the side.
So what players are you seeing? Because like if you could get like a Watson then it's a smash for me. Like it's already the Amon Wilson side. I mean, you think about it. Look what I just mocked up. Hall's a round 3 guy, which could play a lot more. Najee's a round 4 guy who could play a lot higher than that. London's a 3-4 guy, could play a lot higher. Ridley's a 3 guy who could play a lot higher. So regardless of the ADPs, these guys could all over deliver, but their ADPs, none of them are screaming even the second round, bro. Except for Hall. Hall's kind of 2 to 3, but Amon-Ra round 1. You know, Wilson round 1. Walker as good as any of these guys, bro. So I just think I don't love I like Madison there. I just don't love him there. So it's almost like a trick question to me because I feel like I'm not even given a chance to swap Madison out. So tell me a guy you're seeing in your mocks on your platform that you like, and then we'll look at it.
Instead of Madison, I mean, honestly, I would like maybe Pacheco, maybe.
But that's too early in round 4.
Then, I mean, the running backs go pretty early in my league, Schmitty.
Can't you go Fields or Burrow?
Oh yeah.
I mean, bro, if you went, let's say even Fields here, Burrow especially, but if you went Fields here, I mean, this Amon-Ra, Walker, Wilson side crushes, or Burrow especially. Burrow fell to 4, which he does a lot of the time. So this would crush, bro.
Yeah, I like that actually. I like that a lot.
And then get Pacheco the next round. Or you can maybe even get him later. But Pacheco has been falling, bro. You could get Pacheco in round 6 probably. But you get Pacheco with that, get Burrow and Pacheco. Don't get Madison. Get Burrow and Pacheco. Madison's too early in round 4. Madison's like a late round 5, 6 guy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Smitty. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Miyagi-san.
Hey, I just wanted to say, Smitty, hey, just started watching you, just became a member. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate what you do. You're doing God's work, man.
Miyagi-san, go paint the fence. Go wax my cars, Miyagi. All right, later, pal.
Later, bro.
Oh, yeah. He. I mean, I thought this was maybe a trade, but then I started to feel this is probably what he's mocking up. These are 2 different scenarios I'm mocking up. You can't put Madison in round 4. That's too high. That's way too high. Burrow's there in round 4. Watson's there in round 4. London's there in round 4. Yeah, definitely an easy call at the end of the day when you map it out. Sometimes you got to write it out, and see what you really are working with. That's why I do this. I don't just say it in my head half the time, because it can definitely be something that when you write it out, you see, oh my God, look what we're doing here. We're getting 2 first rounders. What are we doing here? Josh Downs, Tank Dell, or Charlie Jones? Tank Dell by a mile, D-class. It's not even close, but I like Charlie Jones and Josh Downs. They're going a lot later though. Tank Dell, you want to take a little higher, but Tank Dell is the guy. But you can get all 3 of them. It shouldn't even be a problem unless this is your last pick, but 5 drops in 2021 says TM. Is that TMT? TMT, is that you? I always forget your name. I always forget who's who when I get over to YouTube, when I get over to Underdog. You guys have different names everywhere. All right, Mr. Miyagi-san, appreciate you. I think, Just Sherman, you here? You can even call up if you want, bro. Just got Walker in the 6th round on Underdog at pick 67, which is phenomenal. 67, that's crazy. That is crazy. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. If you want to draft Kenneth Walker at 67, hit that link in the live chat right now. The link's in the description of every video if you're watching a replay. That link inserts promo code Smitty for you, or you can insert it if you're on the app. And if it's your first deposit and you have never been on the platform before and you use my link or my promo code, they'll match up to $100 on your first deposit on Underdog Fantasy using promo code Smitty, using specifically the link that we got there. Okay, so go check the link out. Do it live. And let's draft on Underdog Fantasy tomorrow night together. Thursday, Friday, Saturday is a draft marathon every single week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Just seeing that now, says D-Class. Madison box adjusted efficiency rating was garbage, says Jeremy. And that's not even like, even if you liked him, you got to take him where he's going. You know what I mean? You can't reach on him. Thank you, Lee, for calling in earlier. I think I got all these super chats out of the way, I believe. Brandon, did I get to Brandon's? Did I get to Brandon's from trades I've made currently? I have 2 second round. Yeah, I did. Thank you, Brandon, for that. Deckard, I got the Deckard. 10 team league need a trade advice. Christian Watson and Judy for Kelsey and Elijah Moore. I think I got that one. Yeah, I did that one. Thank you, Joseph, for that one. Bryson, appreciate you. Just Sherman. Russian collusion, I hope he's still here. Terry Roberts, thank you for yours. Anthony, thank you for your super chat. Thank you for Terry for dropping the double. Overcome, appreciate you. Sick Nasty, Wild Bill in the building. Bryson, Overcome, Bryson, Joseph, Deckard, and Brandon. Appreciate you all dropping those super chats. If anybody else has another one, just drop it and I'll move you straight to the front of the line. All right. Wilson, I hope in the early second round that'd be smash, bro. Wilson falls in some drafts and in other drafts he doesn't. Deontay Johnson actually had 11 drop passes. Pickens over Deontay all day long. It's an easy call.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Not that comment. My comment got Smitty approved. Pickens over Deontay. I Smitty approved. I totally Smitty approved that. Guys got block hands, but look, there's a value. Like if you take them in the right territory, I'm okay with you drafting Deontay. You got to draft him in the right spot, though. You got to draft Deontay in the right spot, and then he's okay. 10 days and Smitty hits Vegas. That's right, Terry. Appreciate you guys. You guys can all watch me in Vegas. You can all drop a like, drop a comment, drop a super chat, get in here, dial in. There'll be an open seat in Vegas where you can literally sit down and grab a mic and do it live. So appreciate you all joining in, tuning into that show. It'll be a fun time. I don't know that we'll do that the whole time, but we'll open up the seat to some people because some people will be shy to go on camera and be live, but some people won't. So we'll have to kind of play it by ear how many people want to do that. Russian collusion, my man. Still here. My super chat was related to the caller's trade. Yeah, so that's a good debate. I'd love to know what the chat would think. What the chat thinks. Would you trade JJ in a dynasty PPR for AJ Brown and Walker? AJ Brown, Walker, and Pierce. Yeah, if it was Pierce as well, then I'd definitely do it. But would I do a 2-for-1? Would I take Kenneth Walker and AJ Brown for JJ? It depends on my team, but I'd be very tempted if that would help my team out a ton. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show, Okafor, but hold on one second. Anthony just dropped a $10 holler.
To the moon.
Anthony to the moon. Anthony's super chat is as follows. Future video request with a $200 budget. What is your realistic ideal Superflex roster? Dying for some auction content. I'll try and cook up something for you, Anthony or Andy. Appreciate you. I could tell you off the top of my head too. I would say like I'm probably going after those value running backs like Kenneth Walker. I'm going after Kenneth Walker, Swift, Charbonnet, and Gibbs. I think Gibbs would still be a decent value. You just don't want to call him out early, Anthony. Or I'm sorry, who was it? It was not Anthony. It was Andy. You don't want to call out the player you want. You want people to spend a lot of money and let your player get called out by somebody else. You never want to call out your own player impatiently. Let the player get called out. People are spending money left and right, and they start getting a little more cautious as you get into the draft. So give me Walker and Gibbs, and then give me as many Garrett Wilson, Olave, Watson, London wide receivers as I can get, and then I'm going after Fields or T. Law. That's kind of how I'd structure my team, and I'd build it all around going with those running backs, not with CMC. Not, I'd try and get Bijan, but I certainly would not, pay $80 out of $200 and then not be able to get Gibbs at 40, or 55 or whatever, to get Walker at 38 or 45 or whatever the price might be. Alec Pierce, deep threat with Anthony Richardson, rocket launcher. Maybe, yeah. Downs is in Pittman and And Alec Pierce, we're going to have to see who steps up to be the number one. I think Pittman's probably got a better shot than Pierce to be the number one, but this doesn't mean he can't be a downfield guy and stretch the field and have a good season. I think Downs eventually takes it, but Pierce will have the edge, being that Downs is a rookie, and it's not like he's got a big jump on the season or anything. Go ahead, Okafor, you're live.
All right, Smitty, enough is enough. Enough is enough of the Deontay Johnson hate. All right, I'm running into the front car of the George Pickens bandwagon, and I'm pouring fire on the coals of that trade. All right, I'm bringing that thing to a screeching halt. Well, maybe I don't have to bring down Pickens, but I'm tired of the Deontay Johnson respect. All right, y'all people saying yes, stone hands. I understand. I remember when that was the case, right? It was like 2 years ago. All right, man, just stated his resume. Okay, man, I don't remember how many drops exactly he had. I do remember there were a lot of ugly drops, and receivers drop balls from time to time. Okay, but Deontay Johnson has a higher catch rate. I'm not even going to talk about 2021.
Hold on, Okafor, hold on. We got a $20 hauler. Hold on.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
All right, go ahead. Terry Roberts dropping a $20 moonshot. Appreciate you, Terry. Go ahead, Okafor. Keep spitting your Deontay Johnson story out. Cute story, by the way, but keep going.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he's got a higher catch rate. This is like I said last season. I'm not going to talk about 2021, where the man had 5 drops.
And I don't want to hear about any other season because Ben Roethlisberger's not there. I don't want to hear about laser locking targets, and Trubisky's not there he's there, but he's not the quarterback spoon feeding him. When Trubisky comes in, it's Deontay Johnson time. When Pickett's in there, it's Pickens time. We have proven track record of that. And so I know that some people are going to say it's going to flip again, and I'm fine with that. I'm not going to call you crazy. I'm not going to make you take a lap. If you like Deontay over Pickens, I think it's crazy when I always say this, and sometimes I do take a hardline stance, and I need to be reminded from time to time. But then again, it's my show, and I can take a hardline stance on whatever I want, whenever I want. That's the whole point of having a show. But in general, I think it's funny when someone says, "Oh my God, pick Deontay over Pickens all day. Are you crazy?" When I can't even really say that about Deontay over Pickens. I strongly feel that way. But I mean, if you told me, Smitty, I'll bet you $500 right now that Deontay outscores Pickens, I honestly think anything could happen. Like, Deontay's got talent. He just continues to. Lately, he's disappointed. And I don't think that's going to change moving forward, given the dynamic and the rapport between Pickett and Pickens, and that Deontay was he needed to be overfed. He needed tons of targets, and he converted once he had tons of targets. And I think he probably could, but the man had no touchdowns last year, bro. He had no touchdowns last year, and you can call that an anomaly, or you can say that there's a reason behind that. And the reason behind that's a very logical one, because he's that kind of receiver. He's a little disappointing. He's not the kind of guy I expect to go from 0 to 10 touchdowns. Pickens can get you 10 plus touchdowns. Pickens has a chip on his shoulder. He has unbelievable hands. Pickens will be on ESPN's highlight reel at least 2 times. At least 2 weeks he'll have a top 3. 2 weeks out of the season, he'll have a top 3, play of the day catch. Pickens is a monster. It's not even close in my mind, but I understand it. I'm not going to make you take a lap over it, but it's not close. In my mind, it's not close.
I mean, Pickens, I'll say probably he has better hands. I don't know what his catch rate or drop rate is. I do remember seeing one clip of a pretty bad drop, but that's just one clip. I'm not gonna hold that against him. But man does make ridiculous catches. Now the reason why Deontay Johnson gets so many targets is because the man creates separation, which in the NFL is the general way that you earn targets, right, and rack up some points. Deontay Johnson, to me, from what I see, he looks like more like a jump ball receiver than like a separator. You know, like he'll get his contested catches over people. He'll do that, but you can't just keep chunking up balls. If you want to be a 50-50 ball receiver, I don't know how successful he can or consistent he could be with that kind of lifestyle. Which is why I'm a bit hasty on, well, not a bit hasty. I'm pretty damn hasty on Pickens. He has prototypical size. He has, what do you run, like a 4.4, something like that? 4.40. So he has the body, he has speed, but I don't know how well he can separate, how much better he can separate than Johnson. Like he might just be a slightly better version of Devontae Parker. And Devontae Parker lately not been too successful in the league. But anywho's, as far as I wasn't here to really tear down Pickens. I just let me pour a little bit of cold water on him. But Deontay Johnson had a higher catch rate than Jahan Johnson last season, than Jamar Chase last season. Then let's not bring up Christian Watson because
Allen, hold on a second. Nolan says Allen Robinson over Pickens, bro. Come on. Come on, bro. That can't be for real. That can't be for real. Thank you again, Terry. Appreciate you. Well, hey, to each his own. Go get Deontay, kind sir. Go get him. I'm not saying I don't like Deontay at his ADP. You know, I'm not saying that, but if we're gonna start talking about what wide receiver is likely gonna outscore the other, I think it's gonna be Pickens. Anything could happen. Now, would I put money on it? No, because I don't necessarily trust Pickett as much as others do. I think Pickett could become what I hope he could become, which is not going to be a top 10 quarterback. It's going to be a very efficient Goff, previous year's Goff. I think Goff's going to blow up this year in a way that it's unrecognizable, and it's not really him. It's him plus the offense in the scheme and the players. But I think previous Goff, could Pickett be that good? Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. But yeah, I'm definitely not all in on
like if there's a guy that I'd say
Allen
is kind of
similar. Come on,
I'd
bro.
say
not you. No, I'm just laughing at Nolan. Nolan,
No.
Allen Robinson over Pickens. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's the kind of bet that Nolan. That's the kind of bet Nolan would come back and say, "Well, he got hurt, so it doesn't count." Like, come on, Nolan.
Yeah, Pickens. I feel like Pickens and Burks are kind of similar-ish receivers, but the difference is Burks is the only target right now. I mean, he's just gonna get force-fed.
Nolan says, bet Robinson will outdo Pickens. Sure. Yes, I bet it, Nolan. If you want to make a bet, I will take that. I don't bet everybody because everybody's going to run at me all day long and try and bet me on everything I say. But this one, bro, this is an exception. If you want to bet on this, Nolan, we can go ahead. I'll go ahead and make an exception for you. Hang tight, Okafor. You're live on the you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to? Anthony. What's up, Anthony? Hang tight, Okafor. I'll come back to you, Okafor. What's up, Anthony?
Okay.
Anthony, what can I do for you?
So I've been doing these mock drafts, and I'm having a little trouble getting stuck. Like after Bijan's gone, Chase is gone, like all the studs that I want are gone, and like I'm not sure who to pick in that 7 to 10 range in a 10 league 1-point PPR.
Nolan, you're saying you wanted to bet. What's the bet? I think Nolan's gonna vanish from the bet conversation. He's gonna act like it didn't happen. He's gonna act like he didn't say that. Maybe I stepped out of bounds for a second. I'm sorry. Let me put these super chats right here. So number 7 overall is Bijan gone. He normally isn't. He normally is there about 6, 7, 8. Anthony?
Yeah, sorry. I thought you were still. I thought you were talking.
Is Bijan gone at that pick when you're? Is that what you're talking about? Bijan being gone?
Yeah, normally. Yeah, normally he's gone.
Okay, so if Bijan's there, you take him. Garrett Wilson, smash. I know it's.
So would you take Wilson of Amon?
I mean, I like both of them. I love both of them. I'd take Garrett Wilson or Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't mind if someone takes Diggs. I'm not calling them a lap chaser or anything. Take a lap. You're not gonna take a lap. I won't make you take a lap if you take Diggs at 8 over Amon-Ra or Garrett Wilson. I'm just gonna take Garrett Wilson or Amon-Ra. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sorry, you picked 7 or 8.
I was pick 9.
Oh, pick
in
9.
this last.
Pick. So you're asking me in general, like in that territory, or you aren't talking about a specific pick. You're just saying anywhere there.
No, so so let me paint a better picture for you. So typically, I'm saying, I mean, sometimes people fall and stuff, but most of the time, I'm seeing Kelsey, Hill, Taylor, and Barkley.
Well, I love Kelsey there.
And then
I like Kelsey there.
Kelsey, okay.
Yeah, so if you're drafting 1-6 to 1-8, if Kelsey's there, I'm fine with that. I normally do like to go later tight end, but I think that this just feels like a good year, and it might be the last year that you would do it. But if you took Kelsey, like Kelsey, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, Kelsey feels the safest, and then the reason Kelsey is a good pick there this year is because the running back pool is so deep, and the wide receiver breakouts are so plentiful that it just makes a lot of sense, you know. You can get a Walker and a Gibbs and a Watson and a London and a Dotson and have Kelsey, you know, and still have a field somehow. Like you could crush it. You could crush it with Kelsey at 6. Previous years, you know, it seems like you draft Kelsey at 6, you're chasing running back and wide receiver the entire draft. You're trying to catch up the entire draft. This year, when I mock draft with Kelsey in round 1, I don't feel like I'm chasing the positions at all. So that's why I say easy call Kelsey. But I would say Bijan, Kelsey, Garrett Wilson would be my order.
Okay. So my last mock draft, I took Derrick Henry, and I think I might have made up for it in the later rounds. But like I said again, like I felt stuck. You know, I wasn't sure who to take. You want me to give you my team if you have a minute?
Just read it. I probably won't write it down, but just read it off.
All right, so I got Fields, Henry, Gibbs, Amon, Olave, Pitts, and Pacheco.
That's good. That's good, bro.
So you would take Kelsey over Henry if you were like 8, 9?
I don't take Henry in round. I take Henry in round 3, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, Henry. I mean, depending on where you're drafting, Henry's got a 3rd round ADP. You better not take him at 1. If you take him at 1, you're drafting on a platform that's suggesting it and it's not updated. Because his redraft ADP is round 3.
Okay, yeah, I'm just doing like the ESPN.
Yeah, well, that explains it. That explains it. It's like last year's ADP data or something, bro. It's like, do not take Henry. Yeah. I'm thinking about moving all my drafts over to ESPN and then telling people, well, you know what, we're gonna go back over to the other platform, just to take advantage of that. I mean, it's crazy, bro. Olave's going in round 3 or 4. Like that's not where he's going. He's going in round 2. Olave's got round 2 value. Now the flip side, Kenneth Walker's got 4 or 5 value. I bet you on ESPN he's going in round 2. You know, so it could be a pro and a con. ESPN could screw you on a Kenneth Walker value, which is in round 4, bro. He's embedded in the middle to late round 4, or sometimes 5.1 to 5.5. Kenneth Walker is going in the 5th round. You know, but if you draft on ESPN, you're unfortunately a victim to their ADP suggested rank, and you won't see that in an ESPN draft. You won't see you'll see Olave in round 3 or 4 though. You know, so
something else that I've been seeing, like in that late round, not all the time, but sometimes Cup falls to like 7 or 8. Would you take him there?
I don't mind him there. I don't like him 4. I don't like him 3 or 4 because, like, I for all the reasons that I say, you got Stafford, questionable situation. He's not fully healthy from his injury yet. They're still rehabbing him. like he's still working back. He's getting stronger every day and everything, but he's not like 100% right now. He might be very close. He might come out in a week and go, I'm good to go. Like that, but half a month ago there was a report saying he's wanting to do more. He's waiting on the decision makers medically to tell him you can go harder. So like that's all not great, but he's got a lot of time. But I'm just saying it's not like he's sitting there twiddling his thumbs going, I'm back, baby. I'm 100%. Like let's go. And you're like, all right, now I'm gonna go back to he's scoring more points per game than any other wide receiver type of thinking, but. He's had 2,000-yard seasons. That's all I'm saying. Number 4 overall, I'm not taking him 4 overall. But would I take him 7 or 8? That's double the value downward. Taking him at 4 and taking him at 8 is literally double. The amount of draft picks down. It's like that's a significant amount. That makes a big difference.
True.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. That isn't the Anthony in the chat, so I titled him Other Anthony. Is that okay, Anthony? I'm calling you Other Anthony.
That's all good. Or you can just call me Tony.
All right. Tony, let's do Tony. Hold on. Let me rename you here. We'll put Tony. Tony. All right, Tony. Appreciate you calling in, pal.
Appreciate it, man.
Later. All right, Okafor, final thoughts. I'm gonna roll everybody off the line here. Final thoughts, Okafor.
Final thoughts. Okay. Deontay has a higher catch rate than Stephon Diggs, than Jalen Waddle, than Chris Olave, then I keep going down the list. So if I ever hear anybody say anything about Deontay Johnson having stone heads, Smitty, you better throw all your boys in that bag as well. Like, that's all I'm saying. All I want is just remove
Okafor. Deontay Johnson has stone hands. And give me a coffee. Later.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
All right, guys. I think I'm out of here. I got a couple super chats here. Russian Collusion says, Smitty, just started a weekly fantasy football draft, which you can start on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty. Just get on over to Underdog Fantasy. The link is in the description of every video. The link is in the live chat pinned. Use promo code Smitty, and they'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. And get on over and start drafting. So Russian Collusion said that he's drafting in a weeklies right now. Is there another super chat here? I think there's another one from Terry, $2 holler. Terry, thank you for that super chat. And I got Russians right here. In a weekly, I have not tried this before. I have the 9th pick, and I took Diggs, then Allen, in the 3rd round pick. Burrow was staring me in the face here, and I did in the 4th. I grabbed Harris. Am I crazy? No. I don't mind that. I don't mind going double quarterback at all. I also don't mind Diggs at 9. I personally take Garrett Wilson, or I personally take St. Brown, but I don't mind that, especially if you're going to do in a best ball of the Buffalo stack and you get Kincaid later, get Kincaid as well. Then I'm tempted to go Diggs and Allen together like that. It's a fun, attractive stack, and honestly, I will have, and I don't yet, but I will have a Diggs and Josh Allen and Kincaid stack. I'm admitting that right now. I will draft that. I'm not against drafting Diggs. It's all about, what do I do if push comes to shove and I've got one draft? I'm taking St. Brown and Garrett Wilson. But will I have a couple variations of a couple different strategies that I do want to deploy this year? One is the Buffalo Bill strategy. One is the all KC strategy and the Bengal strategy. I mean, we're constantly working up these high octane offenses. Smitty just appreciate that. Collusion. Smitty approved that approach. Sick Nasty. Every time I try calling in, I get right to voicemail. Was I blocked for some reason? Marsman card not working. Try calling in right now, Sick Nasty. I don't know why you're not getting through. I'm looking at it right now. Try calling in again. I don't know what's going on. Sick Nasty, try right now. When are we drafting for the Moon Man, Marsman? Nothing's changed. It's going to be mid-August for both of them. Appreciate you, Terry. Reach on Waller, 140 ADP on Yahoo, and one of my buddies is in the league, is a huge Giants fan. Should I tell him he better reach? I like Waller a lot, so I'm okay reaching a little bit. 140 ADP on Yahoo, that doesn't sound right. I feel like he's got a higher ADP than that on Underdog, doesn't he? Let's go over to Waller and take a look. That's crazy. On Underdog, he's got an 80 overall ADP. Yeah, that's what 140. What are we talking about, Overcome? Take a lap, Yahoo. Has Yahoo updated their rankings in the past 5 years? What's going on? 140. That's like before he broke out. That was like when he was, older tight end that never done it yet. And your boy said he's going to be a top 5 tight end in 2020 or in what was this breakout year? 2020, 2019, 2020. What was it? 20. I forget. But that was my breakout tight end the year he broke out. And it seems like they've got their ADP rankings from before that time. 140. Take a lap, Yahoo, on that one. 140. God, I swear these ADPs are awful. I'm out of time. Am I out of time now? You can call in real quick, Rockout. And Sick Nasty, I'm still waiting. I don't see a phone call from you. And I see your number plugged in here, Sick Nasty. I'm looking at your line. You're not blocked. Everything's good. You're good. I'm just waiting for you to dial. Pal. I'm looking at the phone line right now, Sick Nasty. I do not see it. Phone line's right here, Sick Nasty. Dial into the phone. I don't know if you're dialing the right number, but you're on the line. Yahoo is a joke, but I love it. Yeah, it can definitely help you crush it. You know what I'm saying? I'm leaving a voicemail right now as I text this. Well, there's no voicemails to be left. I hope you're not doing it on the text line. Like, dial into this phone number right now. I'm looking at the phone line. I don't see you calling in, Sick Nasty. I'm looking at it right now, pal. Dial it.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I have a feeling Sick Nasty's calling the wrong line. Sick Nasty, this is the line right here, pal. I think you're dialing the wrong number. This is the studio line for the live show. It's different than the text line, my guy. Sick Nasty. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm out of here unless Sick Nasty dials in the right number. He's dialing the wrong number. I just got a message. You left a voicemail, I think, on the other line. I don't check the voicemails on that number as unrelated to any. You got the wrong. It's right on the screen, Sick Nasty. It's right on the screen, pal. It's right on the screen. You got to dial that studio line. Yeah, bro. Waller is a great value on Underdog. 80 to 90 overall ADP. And to get him a 140 on Yahoo, smash, bro. Absolute smash. I don't think Sick Nasty is watching. I don't ever check this. This phone number is tied to my WhatsApp, and I don't think you. I think you're leaving a voicemail on the wrong one. Let's see here. I don't know. Hopefully he dials in. I'll try calling again. I think you're calling the wrong number, Sick Nasty. Give me 30 seconds more, Smitty, says Jack. I'm waiting, Jack. When are you calling in? Here's Rockout. Rockout's calling in the studio line, Sick Nasty. It's on the screen. Hey, what's up, Rockout?
What's up? Do you got Pierce over JK?
That's a close one. JK and Pierce are very, very even. They both have pros and cons. Don't forget my super.
Yeah.
Eric says, let me look and see if I missed your super chat, Eric. Let me check. Eric dropped a super chat. He said, Eric, where's your super chat, bro? Eric, you didn't super chat. Eric, there's no super chat. Don't forget my super chat. I dropped a $5 holler. I'm looking for it, Eric. I don't see it. You must have not went through, bro. And I don't know what Sick Nasty's doing. He's calling the wrong number. He's calling the text line, I think. I don't know what he's doing. This is the longest awaited phone call I've ever had in my life. Sick Nasty, you're about to take a third lap. The number's on screen. This is not the number you're dialing, I don't think. I think you're dialing the text line, bro. All right, rock out. Hit me with your question. I'm about ready to leave. What can I do for you, my guy?
Yeah, you basically answered it with pretty close.
With what question? Oh, Pearson. Yeah.
JK and Pierce.
Yeah. I mean, the pros and cons. I mean, JK's super injury prone. Pierce is, still got a lot to prove. His offense has got a lot to prove. JK is on an offense that's going to pass more than ever before, and he's injury prone and he's holding out. Pierce, I just like Pierce better. A little less concern.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, appreciate it.
Yeah.
See.
Jonathan, you're live. What's up?
Smitty.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Look, man, I just finessed this guy, bro. So I'm back in the draft with the third pick, and I still got the 2 back-to-back fourths. So I gave up my 5th pick and my 7th, and I got a 3rd, and I got a 10th, and I gave up like a 2024 2nd. But anyways, now I'm back on the clock, bro. So this is a tight end premium, and Kyle Pitts is still sitting there. So should I go with Kyle Pitts, and then my team would be Fields, Brees, Cooper Kupp, and Pitts, and then I would go London and one of those other running backs that I told you? Or should I go Eckler's on the board, Barkley's on the board, Diggs is on the board?
Yeah, here's the thing. Barkley's on the board? The Barkley would be nice.
Yeah, Barkley's still sitting there, bro.
That's really nice. I like Barkley, Barkley, Brees, Fields, and...
But the only thing that worries me about Barkley is just the fact that, his whole contract... he is a running back.
It's a risk, but I don't think it's something that will play out because right now he's holding out, but he's not because he's not under contract. So it's not like he's actually following through with anything right now. He's just not signing his deal yet. But he will. His deal becomes his contract, whether he signs it or not on the 17th, so he'll start getting fined. And I don't think he's going to go that route. Plus, I mean, they sound like they're closer than they were. And he's also been very vocal about, I don't want to break records. I just want to get a respectable, salary. And I don't want to be the number 1 running back in the National Football League, salary wise. I'm not trying to break any records. I'm just trying to get a fair salary bump. And I think they're probably closer. It'll be fine. But I will say, I don't know that you finessed him. You gave up a first rounder. And
No. I didn't give no first.
Oh.
I didn't give a first. I gave it was the 2nd.
Okay. So I will still say it depends on who's there in the 5th and 7th round. I mean, if it still could be a lot of talent there. Like if one of these is Kincaid and you could get like a Kincaid and Dotson, that might be better than the 3rd round pick, but it just depends on who's there. But I will say, Barkley's nice.
I mean, like I said, Barkley, Eckler, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some high level, people that they're not going to be there in the 5th round, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. But Barkley's nice. I do think that tight end premium makes tight end a focal point here. But at the same time, there are so many breakout like a Okonkwo. Is he still going to be there? When you get back around to your next pick, Kincaid. I don't know where he's even going to go, bro. Kincaid could go super early, or he could go around 6 or 7. It's so tough to know. Every dynasty league is going to be different, but I love Kincaid.
Yeah, I like Kincaid as well. But see, I'm a Falcons fan, so like Kyle Pitts would be nice. Like the little Kyle Pitts with Drake London. I would like that little stack there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just biased.
I like Barkley and Kmet better. And I like Kyle Pitts, but I like Barkley and Kmet a lot better. I like Barkley and Okonkwo a lot better. I love Kincaid and Barkley. I don't know if Kincaid will be there in round 6, but Kincaid and Barkley crushes going Kyle Pitts here. because I think Kincaid's
So you
going to
say
be
I
a
should?
cheat code.
So you think I should go Barkley then?
Where's Kincaid ranked right now on the pre-rank list?
Let's see. He's ranked at. Damn boy, he's all the way down there. He is. Jesus Christ.
He can't be all the way down there unless the commissioner left it as redraft rankings.
No, maybe I skipped him.
Is he already gone?
He is okay. So he's somewhere between the 5th and 6th. 6th is where he's at.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I hate to have you pass on him when you're gonna miss him. Like he is potentially the next Travis Kelce, but I don't know. Like I almost would prefer to that's what I'm saying. If he fell to round 5 and you get and you get Dotson in 7 or something like that, then it's like I love Kincaid and Dotson over Barkley, to be honest. But I like Barkley here a lot. If you think you could get Kincaid in round 6. Or no, round 4. You have a round 4 pick coming up. Is it 4?
I have 2 fourths.
Okay, so you think you'll get him?
I have 2 fourths.
You think he'll fall?
I mean, I could get. I mean, yeah, I could get Kincaid most likely. I mean, I would have to obviously. I mean, I'll be reaching for sure.
In 4?
But I was I was saying, I was kind of wanting to do that that London and Watson back to back, or a London and like a Pollard, or like maybe even a Kenneth Walker if he falls near.
I thought you said Walker was gone when I.
Or even a Najee.
You said Walker was
even
gone.
A Najee Harris.
You said Walker was gone when you called last.
Walker's still.
I could have swore maybe it's a different caller, but I could have swore I asked you if Walker was there.
No, Walker's still. Yeah, he's still there, bro. I can get him probably in the 4th if he falls.
Chat, didn't I ask him if Walker was there, and you said Walker was gone? I said because I was trying to map out a strategy for you. I'm almost positive I'm almost positive as you that I asked, is Walker there, and you said no, which is fine. No big deal. I'm just saying, like, I love Walker. You get Walker. I don't know, man. Kincaid's a boss, bro. You do what you think you can get away with based on the pre-rank list, but I don't think Kincaid's a reach in the next round. I don't mind you going Barkley if you believe you can land Kincaid with the next pick. You get Walker and Kincaid and Barkley, and your team's solid with Breece Hall, Barkley, Fields. Don't forget you got to get Jordan Love at some point. Cooper Kupp, Kenneth Walker, Kincaid. I mean, that's a smash. You could also skip Barkley and say, you know what, I'm going to go. Like, if you went Kyle Pitts here, trust your gut, first of all. If you think Kyle Pitts is the tight end 1 of the future, then I wouldn't pass on him if you believe that. But I like Kincaid more than Kyle Pitts, bro. And I could be wrong on that. I'm taking a little bit of a gamble, but I do believe he's going to be legit.
Yeah, I really like Kyle Pitts, man. Like, that dude, like, I mean, as a rookie to go, 1,000 yards, and that was with Matt Ryan playing like complete. And then Mariota, he was god awful. And then he got hurt, and then he never really got to.
Yeah.
I mean, and the worst part is that he only had 1 touchdown, whenever he had that breakout season. So it's like, I feel like we haven't even seen his full potential. And the dude is only like 21 years old.
Well,
or 22.
trust your gut. Trust your gut, because only you are going to be, the one that's you're going to be pissed off if you go another direction. But for me, I'm going Barkley and Kincaid and Walker all day long. That would be phenomenal. But that's just me. That's me. I mean, like, look, you could get Walker, Kyle Pitts, and Watson. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal too. I mean, that's great. Both those are awesome. You can't really go wrong. Just keep picking the best player available, and you're gonna be fine. And somebody said that it wasn't you. Someone said it wasn't you that said Walker. I felt like it was, but if it wasn't, my bad. But yeah, Walker's a smash, bro. Absolute smash. Just get Charbonnet. Make sure you get Charbonnet. Go and don't forget Jordan Love. You got a lot of players you got to get. All right, later, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah. Where is Sick Nasty? Like, Sick Nasty, this is like I feel like I'm walking my mom through how to call into the show. I got an email that I just got a voicemail. I got an email that it's got a voicemail on a line that doesn't get checked. I don't think he's dialing in the right line. All right, Sick Nasty, I waited like literally 30 minutes for you. I'll see you on the text line. All right, later, everybody. Appreciate you all. I'll see you later. Go get Dalton Kincaided. Thank you for all the super chats. Rock out, appreciate you. Terry, appreciate you both. Russian, Overcome, Sick Nasty, who didn't call in. Terry Roberts, Anthony, Andy, Just Sherman, Russian Collusion, Grant, Terry Roberts again, Anthony T, Terry Roberts, Anthony T, Overcome, Sick Nasty again, who didn't call in. He keeps calling the wrong line. Bryson, Overcome, Bryson, Joseph, Deckard, and Brandon. I will see you all later. Appreciate you. Tomorrow will probably be a multiple video day or maybe a multiple live stream day. Peace out. Catch you later.